What's up, guys, and welcome to a brand new Clear Comms. We're finally back after 2 weeks of doing no episode, and we're doing a duo episode. I'm joined by the best co-host in the world, Captain Coach, and we're going to talk about Season 8.5, a ton of random drama that's going on in the community, our opinions on the entire season, and what we want to see in the future for balance and for the game. So,
a little bingo card at the end too.
Yeah. We're yoinking lights bingo card at the end, and that's gonna be fun. Bingo card prediction. So, So where do we even begin?
Drama.
There were three big drama pieces that happened when we were. I was sick for 2 weeks. We were dealing with a lot of stuff in our personal lives.
Yep.
And yeah, just like the whole Rivals world just like caught on fire.
Burned down while we were away,
yeah.
bro.
You know when there's like a power vacuum? They're
riding on the streets. The coaches are gone. There's chaos. Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was funny, bro. I was away visiting family, going through all the drama on Twitter and X, whatever. It was crazy. Like 3 different storylines happening at once. You had Flat versus Light, which Light guests obviously we have on the podcast a lot. Then you had Warren and Aramori, I guess. We were kind of
and J3 too, a little bit as well.
J3, okay. And then it was, I think, a little bit before that, Jitward and Kingsman.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the lowest of the 3.
The Jitwood and Kingsman drama was literally just
that one's more Rivals' fault than it is. I feel like
there was just like exploits that were like work, because for those of y'all who don't know, you could you had to spam something in order to get on this leaderboard to win a certain amount of money, gifted subs, but money, and so there was just like ways to exploit that, and then there was just a lot of finger pointing. Jitward did it. Kingsman's community did it, even if Kingsman didn't actively want it to happen. It still happened, and then they were just a lot of finger pointing. It was honestly probably the worst of the 3 dramas, because who fucking cares? I don't care about who spams more and gets.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Subs. I saw that whole challenge and I just said no thanks. Not even gonna try to do all that, because it was about getting basically people to type !charge in your chat, and if you got more than other people during this event that they were throwing, basically whatever streamer, I think it was gifted 1,000 subs or something. I don't even know, but it was just it was for money. It was people fighting over money.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty dumb, because of course the bigger channels are gonna win. That's just it. It's just a popularity contest at the end of the day. How riled up you can get your fan base. It was very interesting. I think the one interesting thing is I saw, at least on TikTok and on X and a lot of these platforms, a lot of people have turned on Kingsman a little bit. I remember he was the golden child. He's the first natural born superstar in Rivals that has entered the biggest sphere of mainstream. A lot of people have completely turned on him. It's very funny. And for one reason or another, Jitward community calling him greedy. Oh, you have all this money. What do you need 100 gifted subs for? Why are you Karening the rules when it doesn't even matter for you? I feel like no matter if you ever get too popular, I think in anything, you always just get a backlash, a negative response.
I would argue that those people who quote turned on him were never on his side. They were always kind of just waiting for him to slip up, because I think when big drama like that happens, and you said it yourself, people almost use content creators as props to kind of push their own ideals and ideas about things, right? So if you're viewed as someone who disagrees with a content creator, then you don't stand for what they stand for. So I think a lot of that with Kingsman was, from my point of view, and I'm open to argument here, is that it was a lot of competition versus whatever vibes you want to call it, or more so men versus women in the gaming space. And I think I do think that's a lot of where that comes from, is a lot of people view him as being disrespectful towards teammates who were women.
That was another part of the drama that you bring up, is the
Well, they're related.
Yeah, because Aramori felt like she didn't really get the like when she would say something to her team of randoms in a tournament, she wouldn't get the same level of respect as someone like Kingsman, even though
I think
she
so.
has like a lot more.
Sometimes, I mean, okay, so like Aramori was our coach for the Basim tournament in which Kingslayer initially got, like
when he blew
notorious,
up,
and I mean, she was honestly like a great coach, and definitely. I think it's important when you're in a team environment like that to have an established set of expectations and goals for like what your team is willing to accomplish. So then when there's disagreements, it's not because whatever she said, we don't want to listen to this person for this reason or that person. It's more just we aligned, we made sure our goals align. We're all on the same page. And now it's just about the game. And right. I think a lot of these things, how much blame do you put on the content creators who are being asked to operate under these tournaments where you're getting golds and challengers on the same team?
Yeah.
So it's like, how much is it the people's fault? And I think a lot of people try to take these awkward situations. I think these tournaments are overall pretty poorly run.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the drama comes from personally.
Yeah, because this kind of like, that kind of snowballs into what the other big drama that happened was the Warren versus Aramori or the Warren versus J3 situation, where there's a big tournament that is separated by regions, and then there's a massive prize pool. I mean, it's $100,000 overall, but like the winning team wins, I think it's like $10K each or something.
Wasn't it 300? 300,000.
300,000. Oh, it's a shit ton of money. It's just a massive bag, and they get to make a whole bunch of money. And of course, we kind of ran into another CC, I guess, Zaza situation where Warren wanted to play his comfort pick. First of all, he's not even a Rivals creator anymore. He's a Overwatch guy. He's from a different community, and we see this a lot with these tournaments where NetEase is just using it for advertisement. Like, they don't give a fuck about trying to grow, like they're not throwing the tournament for us in the community.
They don't care about competition at all.
No,
it's silly fun.
No, they're using it for an advertisement. And here's like the thing that people might not agree with me on. I actually think this is like, that's the main reason to throw a tournament. If you're gonna throw money at it, like they could spend, let's just say, $100K on running ads, or they could spend $100K on a tournament that's basically an ad. And I think that that's probably better, but the rules need to be thought about, because what happened is, like, Warren comes in, he wants to just play his comfort pick. He was like a Celestial type Squirrel Girl player, and he was honestly pretty good at Squirrel Girl, even though that character is like pretty suboptimal, especially in coordinated play. And he just wanted to play his vibe character. He wanted to play that. He didn't care about the money. He didn't care about what Aramori wanted. It was kind of funny because I remember Aramori got mad about the fact that she felt like her opinions got ignored a lot of times in these tournaments, even though she had like the credibility. As for those of you who don't know, Aramori is a pro champion, played for Sentinels, is a pro player, is accomplished, has earnings, and she would like not get the same level of respect as someone like Kingsman. So like people would kind of scoff at her, dismiss her, whatever. And then she gets into this tournament, and then it like that exact thing kind of happens. Not for maybe those reasons, but it is funny how, she's in charge, but like people don't really give a fuck about what she has to say, or at least Warren did not. And
apparently he was a hit scan player. I heard. I don't know if that's true.
No, he is. He's an Ashe player in Overwatch. I've played against Warren like a million times back in Overwatch.
Okay.
And he's a good hit scan player.
I think she wanted him on Ultron on triple. He didn't want to.
Yeah, well, he thought it was boring. But like that's the whole thing. Is it's like, that's kind of the problem when you have these tournaments with all this money. It's like, if it's boring, who cares? We're trying to win money. Like who cares if it's boring? Lock the Magneto. It's boring. But that's what you're talking about. Is like
you got to make sure your goals align right at the start of the tournament. So I was actually a tournament coach or captain. I mean, for the Basim tournament before the one I was on with Aramori. And that was like the first thing I did was be like, hey, how hard are we trying, guys? Are we going to like lock in meta? Are we going to lock in our comfort? And we figured that out. But how much do you think? Well, I got two questions for you, because I'm kind of curious too. That the drama happening in Rivals right now is a sign that the game is not in the best spot, is my number one. And then two, I'm not trying to like call anyone out in particular, but how much do you think people still see the Kingsman situation that happened in that BASM tournament, which, by the way, that was the best Rivals tournament that we've had so far, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't get an invite to it because, you know, because fuck me, that's why, I guess. Anyway, sorry, my bad. All right.
Is people, it's like the meta now to start drama, farm the content, get more people on your side, because I think a lot of people do use these platforms more as not so much a way to earn money, but as like a prop. But I don't know these people. I don't really. It'd be great maybe to have them on and talk to them and see what like their point of view.
That is interesting because there was a lot of people like throwing out accusations that people in the tournament were trying to create that situation again because they see Kingsman just blow up through this drama and they're just like, look at the opportunity there. Because, I mean, it's obvious, I mean, with the numbers that Kingsman's pulling in. Like, I know that he blew up as a college kid that couldn't afford his college and really wanted a tournament winning to afford his college. I mean, he's like, he's in generational wealth territory, like, from now on. I mean, he just, like, I mean, if, I don't know if people from the outside looking in understand what the numbers are, but when you're averaging 3,000 on Twitch, you're printing money every second.
Generational wealth. Yeah, are you saying he's gonna have a son, name him Prince Boy?
Yeah. I mean, you're making hundreds of dollars per match of fucking Rivals. I mean, anyways, the point is, people see that opportunity and they're like, what can I do to, you know, maybe jump in that wave, ride that train? Oh, there's drama. Ooh, drama. I also think like one of the things you said about expectations, right? You know, I think one of the problems with expectations is as the prize pool gets bigger, like if we were running a tournament where the prize pool is $100, I think it would be not, you could talk to your team about expectations, but you wouldn't necessarily assume that people care all that much if it's just $100. I'm not saying $100 is nothing, but I'm just saying it's like whatever. As that prize pool gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, the expectation needs to be, yeah, people fucking care. Like,
I agree. I think that's pretty common sense.
Right.
And even if you don't need the money, you're playing with people who probably do. I mean,
exactly.
And it's one of those things, too, right, where some people view those tournaments as a lot of effort that they would have to put in for what they maybe see as not a very good chance at that prize money because it's whatever, not their main game. So for them, even from a content perspective, they don't want to look like a fool, I guess, maybe is I could see maybe that's if you want to like take the side of Warren is like, okay, I mean he looked fine on Ultron, but maybe we don't want to play something that it's not on our comfort on the big stage, or we don't want to put in like dozens of hours of work throughout the week to train for this. You know, it's just about, like I said, matching expectations.
Yeah, because I saw one of the defenses of him is like in the last tournament that he won with XQC, because he did play in another tournament with him, another creative tournament.
Okay.
He played Squirrel Girl in that tournament, they won. And then he posted that gameplay on YouTube, and it blew up. So, like, which promotes him and promotes his platform. So he gets invited to this tournament. He's thinking, oh, I get to run it back. I get to block Squirrel Girl. I get to create content. I get to be in this tournament. And it doesn't really matter. It's just a casual tournament. That's what he's thinking from his point of view. You know, I don't care about the money. This is just a cool opportunity, and we can have fun. And then, but like, that's kind of the problem is like as that prize pool gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's like the people that are coming in with them they're not thinking that. They don't give a fuck about the content. They don't give a fuck about, like, they're trying to win. They're trying to win the money. And when he's not taking it to that same level of like seriousness, like that, those disconnects.
You got to find people who are hungry, man. The small to mid-sized creators, those are the people who are going to be hungry and wanting to prove themselves. So those are going to be where you get the best tournaments.
I think it would be really smart if people who host these tournaments and netties themselves come out where there's a tournament and they say, this is a creative tournament, but these are the expectations. You're like going in. Like, the expectation is...
No Squirrel Girl. Or Widow.
Well, it's just like, try hard, collaborate, you know. Because, like, it's funny because that same mindset you said, like, for him it's, like, not worth it for, like, not a good chance. People in ranked think the same way. When they're like... oh, I have to fill as Luna, and we're probably not going to win anyways because I have a Blade DPS or a Spider-Man. that's not Lord, it's like, I'm just gonna fucking throw this game because who cares? I'm just gonna play what I want. Like they think the same way because it's like the investment versus. So, in my opinion, NetEase should only invite people that really want it. It's not like I don't really think they should just reach out to some random creator that's big and be like, hey, come play in this tournament. Like I get it's an advertisement, but I think you agree with what I'm saying.
It's almost kind of like this weird double standard that they silently kind of impose upon the community, which is, we want you to try, but we're going to have certain heroes in this game that are clearly just not competitive at a certain level. And it's, again, I mean, we talk about it all the time. What's the overarching design philosophy? What are we trying to do, NetEase? There's a lot of confusion here with how your game is supposed to be, digested by the players, right? And I think that disconnect is a bit of the reason why a lot of this drama is happening. I don't think you can go through this without putting at least a little blame on the company for setting these things up. And I think a really good way to alleviate this problem is just to give players more info starting out, but also more info that they can spread amongst themselves while in a game. Things like, maybe we don't do, I mean, I know people who watch the podcast know I'm in favor of a soft roll queue. Well, maybe we don't do soft roll queue. Maybe we just have it when you join a lobby. It'll show you your best roll and your second best roll, just so that there's less confusion among
people
players.
Can see. Right.
There's the expectations are more clear, so this element of communication that tends to get muddy and cause a lot of conflict. I'm sure you've experienced it in your rank games. A lot of throwers get off Spider-Man. We need 3 healers. That's going to happen less, and I think these are things that they could fix easily without actually having to balance the game, which is a whole nother topic.
It's kind of funny that you say that because I was doing with Death. We both love Death. Death in gaming, and he likes to play Psylocke, he likes to play Rogue, he likes to play Rocket, right? And so he's locking Psy, but then he's telling his team, hey, I also play Rocket, so don't ban Rocket if you want me on support. And so it's like this song and dance. Well, he doesn't really know what his team is playing, and so he's trying to communicate what he plays, but like, what if he has to play DPS, and then Rocket's open? There's like this weird thing. Wouldn't it be so great if you could just hover his profile, and you could just see Cap, Psy, Rocket, and then you could just be like, oh shit, he can play Rocket and he has this win percentage, and then wouldn't that be so great if we didn't have to play these fucking games with each other to figure out?
You can do that. It's called getting a tracker, but actually,
right. But like, just make teammates public. You could just look at your teammates and be like, oh, this guy, he plays fucking Hulk, but if you let him play Hulk, he's gonna fucking win because he has a 63% win rate. All right, he's gonna play Hulk. All right, this guy, okay, he can play this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it'd be.
I was playing into pretty high ranked lobbies, like pretty much full one above all lobbies last night. I got into about 3 or 4 of them in a row, and in most of the games, I'm like, "Do you want me to swap to this? Do you want me to swap to that?" And in one of the games, I think it was British Tree, if you know who that is.
Yep.
I said, we had 2 tanks. I was the 3rd tank. And I'm like, I can go Mantis. I have a good Mantis win rate. And everybody in the lobby collectively was like, no, get on Hulk. Because there's one above all players with using the trackers. They know what you're playing before you do. Okay? They know what you're playing before you do. And that's the type of advantage that people try to, squeak out when you get to these ranks. It really is. Comes down to that's how much people put effort into trying to differentiate themselves. So if you gave that power to the players, if the top players are using that to make their game quality better, how could that not be a tool that everybody would love in a way that's not considered shady, cheating, whatever, using third-party sites to get an unfair advantage? Just give the power to everybody, but make it so it's not like abusable. It's just more, to me, more power to the players almost always is a good thing. Almost always.
100% agree. But kind of going back to that tournament drama real quick, just the Warren versus Jay versus Armory. I really, really think that tournaments, like we've talked about it a lot. I think these tournaments have a massive like place that they can improve in, which is just like being very clear with the type of tournament it is. I also like the idea of adding in different types of incentives to make people have a good time. So we've pitched, we want to do a clear comps tournament. The plan is for big clear comms creator, but we'll also invite non-creators too. It'll be cool. It'll probably be mostly creators, but
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but would we have our own team against everybody else, or would we like each have a team that would go compete?
Well, that's the fun. Like probably you and I are gonna cast it most likely.
Oh,
what's gonna happen.
I love casting. I love it.
Well, that's probably what we're gonna do. We're probably gonna cast it. But here's an idea I have for a tournament. So anyone that has any ideas to improve the tournament process, definitely let us know down below. We can work on this together. The plan is not until like October time frame, maybe a little bit before that. A couple months, a month or two, at a minimum. Here's what I like. I like the idea of giving certain amount of monetary rewards to certain individuals in the tournament for a variety of reasons. So like as an example, SVP, the best player on a team that lost. That's cool. Best play of the tournament. Maybe it's 200, maybe it's 300, whatever the amount of money is.
You voted on.
And you could do, it could be something like best support or highest performer on an off meta, or I don't know, whatever
most
you
hated
want
player
to do.
by
Most
their
hated
teammates.
player, lowest rank. Like there's a lot of things. Because my thing is make a tournament where people come out of the tournament feeling good, right? Like
Everybody
a lot of
feeling
these
good,
tournaments, people are not feeling good after the tournament. A lot of these tournaments, I literally remember one of the first tournaments I think I played in. You played in. We never interacted, but we both played in it. I remember Potato, who's like he's a great ladder player, top 100 consistently, very good. He was on a terrible team. And despite him putting up like 40-5 numbers, every game his team was bottom 0-4, dropped out of the tournament, eliminated. And I just remember just checking his stream and he was just having a miserable time. So I would like it if there are little things that you can do to try to improve the experience of teams, no matter how they perform. Maybe you're walking away with some bonuses if you're,
most MVPs.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. I also, maybe not for our tournament, but just in general, I like the idea of tournaments that have fun rule sets that apply to everybody as a hypothetical. So imagine a tournament with money on the line where there's like, before the match, there's a fucking spinning wheel. Character it hits, both teams have to play that character. Can't
like
swap
that.
off of it. Something like that where you're trying to win, there's money on the line, but you have this factor that you have to play around, this thing. It would also be kind of fun if we what if we did like a no triple support allowed? Like we can make whatever rule set we want to make. Yeah. He's like fuck these characters,
I think that's the future of the game, considering its current trajectory. I love getting the viewpoints of people like Fox and Light coming on and talking about the competitive scene. Trust me, but I think really where the future of this game lies, I've said it before, is in more of the grassroots kind of people making their own tournaments, their own rule sets, because at a certain point you just get tired of complaining that whatever the balance is and what it should be for whatever rank, and then whatever when pros scene is fun and dive is viable and there's a lot of comps unlocked, in ranked it's just miserable. So again, there's that disconnect. So if you just kind of let the community do their own thing and support those types of tournaments, I think it would be wise from NetEase to sponsor tournaments like ours, and then because I think those have been the best so far, those types of tournaments where they've been more creator driven and grassroots. Maybe I'm just biased, I don't know.
Yeah, my thing is I've criticized pretty much all these tournaments on the way that they've been handled or the rule sets. So that's really why I want to run a tournament. I want us to do a tournament because it's easy for me to just say, hey, it could be done better. But let's sit down, let's think, let's brainstorm, let's think about rules that you can implement that will actually improve the experience for everybody, and let's make a better tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of me just saying it, I want us to do it. And I think we can.
Leave your comments below.
Yeah. Any ideas you have for a tournament, any idea. Like I said, it's going to be mostly creators, but I think there could be windows of people. It's a little tricky because you need people to show up consistently. You need people to have a certain amount of like decorum as far as like times are concerned and showing up. So like if you allow open entry to a tournament, it becomes a little bit trickier because it's like someone shows up, they don't show up. There's a lot of things we can figure out, but anyways, you have any recommendations, leave it down below.
You maybe just remember I used to actually run League of Legends tournaments just within my community back when I streamed that game. One of the awards we had at the end of the tournament was the best flamer, who had the best insults towards the enemy team. So banter was encouraged, and it was actually the most
That-
popular reward because
Well,
losing
that-
teams had a way to actually win something.
Clear calms a toxic tourney. Just like that'd be fucking yeah. I
That'd
don't
be
think,
so
I don't,
good.
I haven't even reached out to Netties about sponsoring a tourney by us, but they're not sponsoring that shit.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. Not with this community. Not with this community.
No, that would. It would be cool if there's a tourney that's like trash talk is encouraged. Would be like within you know not like crazy personal insults, but trash talk is encouraged.
Yeah,
I like the sportsman style of trash talk. You know, the NBA trash talk. I like that. It's cool. It's
in-game
fun.
BM.
Yeah. Talking shit back
like
and
that.
forth. Like I don't want people walking on eggshells. Like I think it'd be cool. Another thing, so you mentioned him, Light, who's a regular on the pod. We love Light, and he got in some drama versus the king, the other king of Marvel Rivals, Flats, who's someone that we also both like. I've watched Flats for a long time. I've made videos on Flats before, talking about his rise to stardom, and we both like Flats. I respect what he does in the content space a lot, and it's very interesting, their debate. Now, if you didn't see it, it was like 4 videos back and forth, like playing fucking telephone. Just YouTube video, react to YouTube video, react to YouTube video. And there's a lot of bullshit. I 4x'd a lot of it, or 2x or whatever. I try to get through it. They had a lot of different opinions, but the one thing that I think was at the core of both. So Flats said the way that low elo players or your casual gamer feels about balance is really important, because you want them to have great experiences. You want the casual experience to be good. They're the ones who pay the bills in the game. They're the ones that ensure the game survives. So that's Flat's opinion. And so balance needs to take them into account mostly, even more important than high-ranked players and more important than pros, because they are the bread and butter of the game, like the lifeblood of the game. Light has a different opinion. He says, fuck the opinions of low elo players and casual players about balance, because in low elo anything goes. You could play Wanda, you could play Squirrel Girl. In fact, a lot of low ranked players think Squirrel Girl is broken, busted, very strong, even though she's not in higher ranked play and in pro play. And Light's opinion is get better at the game. And the analogy he uses is like you would talk if you want to get a brain surgery, you talk to a brain surgeon. You don't talk to some random person, and that's why he says like the people who should be deciding balance should be pros or high-ranked players. And so that's like where they both kind of debate, and they both believe that their side is right. I wanted to pass it to you, Captain Coach. What do you think about these difference in mentality? Because I think these both are fighting, and this has kind of been at the core of the identity crisis of Rivals. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can compare it to like other games that have had more of a focus on the competitive scene. League of Legends, Valorant, they've all had great success. I'd say the difference though with Rivals is it's not really marketed that way, so there's going to be a clear disconnect between your high and low rank community. I really like what Trust Me said when he was on the pod. It kind of bridged the gap between Flat and Lights' argument, which is that you need more introductory educational material for these new players, so 100%. You can elevate them to a level to where you can do who I ultimately agree with is Light. I think I would prefer this game be balanced around higher ranks, but have ways to kind of encourage newer people to have this kind of improvement mindset and learn hero shooters in a way that's going to get them to a point where we don't need to have a Black Widow have 34% win rate in ranked in right, like Celestial plays. I think a big issue too is console. I think that there is a pretty big gap between PC and console I think is probably more popular, right? By far. And I think that's also
there was something like, I believe it was like 19 million people played Rivals last week on PS4 or PS5, PlayStation. The game is actually insanely healthy numbers wise when you take into console. I think console is actually holding this game up. It's actually keeping it alive, which is crazy.
That's probably because HitScan's not miserable to play on console against. Console meta's probably kind of nice, dude. But yeah, like a character like Magic, I believe the tracker sites they do take into account console and PC, right? Or is that
yes.
Yeah.
And Magic is definitely going to be better on those platforms by far when you're
Right.
not getting too tapped by
Right. So
Jean Grey or whatever.
even though I disagree with Flats, I do think the arguments he proposes are fairly valid, and if you look at it through that lens, where you're just trying to make the game as successful as possible, doing what Flats says is probably the right way to do it, considering nothing else happens, right? Like, consider we don't do this introductory material and kind of try to help players have like whatever Coach Fox pop up on your screen and be like, hey, here's how to use your support all. And he's just like yelling at you.
Yeah, CaptainCoach is like, here's how you juggle. Here's how you BM. Let's go. No, I actually really like everything you said because that's why we really just wanted to get Flats and Light in like on the pod or just in a call because
It'd be a great episode.
It doesn't have to be us versus them. Like, it just doesn't. And I know that they talked about a lot more than just this point, but I wanted to kind of harp on this point. There's ways that everyone can win. Like, one of the things I said is, like, I like high end balance. I like higher skill characters getting rewarded at the highest elos. But I really want problematic characters for, like, the lower elos to get, like, those get touched. Like, if let's just say Penny is making a miserable experience for, like, gold through diamond, right? That should be something that's
Eternity.
But no, hypothetical. Well, I'm just saying, or like even if it's Scarlet Witch or Squirrel Girl or whatever character, like their experiences should matter too, and we should think about those experiences, but we shouldn't do those instead of balancing for high elo. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do both. Like buffing or nerfing. And let's just say Squirrel Girl's dominating in gold. Nerfing Squirrel Girl is not gonna fucking affect our games because no one plays that bitch anyways in our elo, or at least they shouldn't, especially not in a money tournament. But you get what I'm talking about.
I mean, you could just do a thing where whatever Squirrel Girl does 10% less damage to silver and bronze players. It's just see that. That wouldn't even be bad though. No one would even like. Nobody would even care.
Well, yeah, but like I like the idea of making kits more healthy, like Black Panther. Like we've talked about him ad nauseum. Like make him more healthy.
Yeah.
Because I think his problem is like Smurfs just ruin like any perception of that character for everybody. Because any Smurf is like blitz stepping you. Like,
dude, it's funny. One thing I've noticed through my rank climb this season, really every season since whatever, like season 3 or 4 when Flyers kind of killed BP, you get to a certain rank where all the good Black Panther players are, but they can't get any higher. So their skill level is much higher than, like, I would say most BP players cap out if they main the hero probably like C2, C3. Yep. Like they can't really get much higher than that. And that's like if they're playing really well. Like you can see a BP player in GM1 who's genuinely a more talented gamer than top 500 supports. No joke. I mean, it is that big of a skill.
I mean, they're better than me. I mean, they are 100% like easily.
I have so much respect.
They're
for
just
people
handicapping themselves. It's like fucking Rock Lee with the ankle weights.
Oh, and there's
like,
there's a ton of gray area between whatever BPs. The best BP and the best rocket, you could go through every hero and be like, okay, well, you got to be this good at this hero to get to this rank. I mean, Hulk's kind of like that a little bit. Like, I do think you have to be better at some heroes if you want to win and climb the ladder. Because now we're kind of getting into the balance talk, but
right.
It really is an interesting topic because there's so much they could do to help their game, but it's like, I think a lot of where the disagreement lies is, okay, how do we go about doing this?
How do we go about doing it? Yeah, I mean, like BP is one that no one could ever really fully agree on, like what you do with that character, because like it's obvious, like in its current state, like all those guys that are stuck in like the C3, C2, if you just made BP meta, those players would be top 500, Eternity Plus instantly. But then like I think a lot
Widow
of players would
too.
Suffer. Oh, Widow players too, yeah. But like that's the thing is like those players are only being held back by the meta, even though they're insane at their heroes. But wait, before we talk about that one thing I want to hear your thought on, because this is kind of how I feel about the Lights versus Flash, just like the final wrap up of it.
Oh yeah.
When a game has consistent hero releases every single month, consistent new things added, and tons of money being funneled into the pro scene, which they are funneling a shit ton of money. I mean, the prize pool is pretty fat. I mean, not compared to maybe the Counter-Strike, like big things, but just like for open tournaments with not much entry, there's a lot of money being funneled in. I think that NetEase could decide to balance it for casuals. I think NetEase could decide to balance it for pros and say fuck casuals. I think NetEase could do random shit every single patch, and I think the game would still be perfectly fine. Like I get that there are things that people want to make a more optimal game, but I hate the doomer conversations about if you don't do it this way, the game will die like Overwatch did, or like Apex did, or like XYZ game did. I don't really think that people take into account how much different Rivals is from all those fucking games. It's not Overwatch. The staying power of this game, the consistent releases, the IP, they have the luxury of being able to fuck up so many things and it just not matter. Like you could have the worst meta in the world, casuals pissed, support strike, whatever, and then Thanos comes out. No one fucking cares anymore. Thanos, a new PvE mode, no one cares. The pros, if there's a paycheck to be gotten, they don't fucking care. They're gonna play the next tournament, or someone else is gonna replace them. They're not taking a stand and saying, I'm not going to play unless you bounce it. Like, they're not doing that shit. So, anyways, I'm not saying that nothing matters, but I am saying that, like, the game is going to be successful independently on the direction the devs decide to go.
Well, I think they've made their intentions pretty clear. I do think you have to give the dev team the benefit of the doubt and look at something that may not be a good balance change or addition of content to the game in like a higher rank sense as something that's just, and this is again where I agree with Flats, your goals just don't align with what their goals are. So you brought up hero releases, new ones. They always release super overtuned, super overpowered. I will die on this hill. The best way to release a new hero is either like on the weaker side or completely unviable, and I stand by that. But NetEase will not, because there's always going to be a learning curve to these new heroes, and the win rate will naturally go up over time. And there's let me finish, Kai. I see you're nodding your head.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're
saying. Okay. So the one is that there is a like you said, power vacuum with the people who will put in a ton of hours really quick, will learn the hero, and get really good at them, and then there's going to be this big skill gap, this knowledge gap, and it causes a lot of unfortunate situations in ranked where you're just people abusing a broken character to get a whole lot of rank, and then now you have this situation where you nerf them. Now, people are in these ranks that don't belong and just abusing broken shit, but also, the game quality is just going to go down just in the short term because of that, because of just how. So I think. Obviously, the reason they do that though is engagement. Every time they want new content out, they want the new players, the casuals, to be able to log on and just own people. You go into quick play, you go into 18 versus 18 with the new Cyclops, and there's more red on your screen than there is the actual map because there's just a bunch of lasers flying around. It's crazy.
You would not believe how many messages I've gotten that's like, I was in X rank, now I'm 2 ranks higher on Cyclops. Like, I've been farming on Cyclops. Oh my god, this character's crazy. I mean, they made a busted hit scan that's easier to hit shots with because the projectile is fucking massive, comparatively to like the size of the hit scan bullet is bigger.
Can you think of any argument for adding a hero OP on release that doesn't interfere with ranked competitive integrity? Because I think that should be the goal. And I can never think of an argument why you'd want to release a hero OP other than from a win rate perspective. On average, maybe it will be closer to the other heroes now because there's a learning curve, but eventually that's if they're too strong, then it's just going to be.
I think it's so they make an impact. I think is the big thing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you want seasons to feel different, and you want patch cycles to feel different, you want new heroes to feel different. You want to release them, like you want more gambits instead of blades. I'm not saying that this is the design philosophy that I would like, but what I will say is Blade didn't make a mark. Gambit did. Blade didn't change shit. Gambit did. So if you think about it from like a more like hardcore perspective, if you release underpowered characters like Blade, there's no meaningful change between before release and after release. And so like you could make the argument that like, especially when you talked about the natural skill curve, like people get better at the character, like as the character's out for longer. Release them broken so they get value instantly, no matter how good they are. And then as they get better, then you nerf the character. Like that's the only argument I could think of, and it's just like
in the short term, it probably makes the game quality maybe better. I don't really see that argument.
They just really want the game to. They just want it not necessarily better. They just want these characters to make their mark, feel impactful. Like that was the Dino season. When you think, oh, Dino, when was Dino season? Oh yeah, we remember. When was Emma season? Oh yeah, we remember that shit. You know, we remember when these characters were released, and we remember how fucking broken they were. Because they, and I'm not saying Gambit is still not broken because he still is, but I am saying that we remember. Like, I don't necessarily think them releasing characters overpowered is my criticism at all. I actually think that that's okay. Because there's a window of time where people don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, you can always just ban it.
And you could ban it. My criticism comes from the month after, when the character is not appropriately balanced post a month of analysis. You have a month to look at, oh, this fucking character is really, really, really good. And then they don't do anything, or they give that character a really tiny change. That defeats that whole thing. Maybe the argument is, maybe high rank players really understand the character right away, and they know that character, and they can reach the ceiling of value very quickly. But the rest of the community is still catching up. So let's give them more time to catch up. Once they figure out that the character's broken, now we'll nerf the character. And it's like, I don't really agree. I think the time needs to be tighter. Like if you're gonna release, like as an example, Black Cat broken, okay, let her be broken for one month and then nerf her like pretty hard. But they didn't. They let her be broken for 2 months, I believe. It was like 2 whole months instead of 1. Anyways.
But to someone who plays less, maybe they only played 2 or 3 times, and they're not even aware that she's OP.
Right.
So it's like, again, where do you draw that line? To me, you might as well to me, I just prio higher ranks. I think, but it's you gotta prio.
You gotta prio something. You gotta prio something, right? You do. You have to prio something.
So you mentioned Gambit, without looking. I don't know if you have looked. Celestial Plus, which I'd say is like pretty good, but like a pretty big chunk of the player base at this point in the season. Celestial Plus, what do you think Gambit's win rate is against non-mirrors right now?
It's probably negative.
What do you think? What's your
probably not
guess?
50. It's probably like 49.5.
48.98. We did it.
Wow.
We did it, everybody. We did it.
I still think.
Or did we?
The character's still broken. So this is Death made a post about it, like, oh, Gambit's not even broken anymore. People just mindlessly drone on tier list.
Yeah, compared to Rocket.
Yeah. Well, Rocket's really, really. I think I think that the character has been banned so long that people are legit handless on him. I kind of made that point where people do not remember how to play him.
They don't.
And why would they? The character's been fucking banned since he's been released. Like, why would they remember how to play this character? And that's also funny. He's weak into dive. He always has been. And Rocket enables dive and killing things. Cap is good. Venom's good. Daredevil's still good. Like Gambit has always been a character that, like, you could still play him into dive. It's just like it turns out you can just kill him. His ultimate is still broken, but if you kill him, the ultimate turns off, and you could hard target him. He only has 2 forms of mobility. He doesn't have any hard sustain abilities like Invis does, like even Cloak and Dagger does. Like, he has some amount of heal, but not a lot. You just fucking kill the guy. So the combination of those 2 things, I think people are trying to force Gambit in because they're like, oh, Gambit's open, let's just play him. And they don't know what they're doing. They don't build a comp around him, which you still need to do if you want to enable a Gambit. And they die because they're just getting killed by a dive. So like, those are my 3 things. But maybe they're going to look at that and they're going to say, oh, okay, we buff Gambit. And they'll be like, hey, we're bouncing for you fucking Eternity players. He had a negative win rate in Eternity, so we're bouncing for you. What do y'all want? Y'all want balance? We're picking y'all.
It's all about interpreting the stats the right way.
I mean,
Gambit's tough. I feel like, man, you're still at this point as a tank player where the best way you can impact the game is really just telling your supports when to ult. You know, kind of just that's like 60% of the outcome of the game. And now with Gambit ult being nerfed, it's like 55%. You know, it's like doesn't matter as much when they fuck it up. You know, so I think that's Gambit. He's almost close to being like I'm okay. Like he's not too bad. Like,
not too bad.
His ult isn't an auto wipe every time. I've noticed. Like if people do have bad Gambit ults, you will probably just waste it.
People also better, I think, at playing against him. They kite more. Yep. They help each other a bit more. They counter him. Like there are like whether it's Magneto or Strange ulting or whatever, there are ways to counter. I did want to kind of, because we're already talking about balance. I want to hear your opinion of this patch. I actually think this is one of the most balanced patches we've been on in a very long time. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
I agree. I gave it a good grade. I stand by it. That being said, it was miserable because every time they release a new hero, it's you got a new one to ban. And Cyclops is that's a server admin hero. And the problem, even though Cyclops is not as overpowered as released Black Cat, in my opinion,
yeah, I agree.
He's way easier to play.
True. So there's more of them.
So it's just as bad, if not worse. Like, plus he's a way more popular character. I mean, Cyclops, you got to ban. Like once I figured out that you ban Cyclops so people don't get the wolf team up, it's like basically like a 2-for-1, and just ban all the poke heroes. Patch isn't that bad. Like once you kind of figure out the bans, it's not too bad. And then, let's build off of that. Now the next one we nerf Daredevil. Oh wait, he's still OP. Okay, he's still highest win rate, still best dive. Black Cat 52% win rate, Celestial plus. So I mean, even though maybe some Black Cat mains didn't like the way she was nerfed to take away some skill expression, she's still pretty decent. Probably like B tier, you think? C tier?
Yeah, she's okay. My problem is win rates they're hard to be perfectly accurate because I don't know in what scenarios are people deciding to play these characters. Like, are you playing these characters only until like that was one of the things is where like BP had like this really high win rate, and it's because when you go up against a thing, they swap the fuck off. They don't just like run it down onto them. I did want to talk about Cyclops. Because I actually think.
Yeah, I mean you're the expert.
Yeah, I did. I did LARP my way to attorney on the.
We
character.
did.
We did. Yeah, you. I got the CaptainCoach boost. And the character, there are a couple things. One, I think his biggest problem is that he's just easy. Like I think at the ceiling, there are other characters that can probably rival him in value, but. It's way harder to hit headshots on Hela or Jean than it is on Cyclops. It's not remotely close. Like if an unk like me can hit headshots reliably, like I'm handless on Jean and I'm fucking dominating a lobby on Cyclops because the shots are that much easier.
Right.
I don't think that Cyclops by himself is broken. I think that there's a couple of things. I think one, the Wolverine team up just makes that character so strong. It's actually absurd. And two, I think Cyclops is completely busted when you combine him with a Mantis and an Ultron, which is kind of a common thing. We can talk about how Mantis and Ultron, I think, are actually just problematic characters in the way that they just take whatever is the best DPS and they just make that character even better. The problem with Cyclops is there are some windows, like the character's actually weak to things like Cap and Psylocke. He's weak to these mobility characters that can flank him and dump him, but not when he has an Ultron drone. Not when he has a Mantis pocket. Then he has no fucking weaknesses, and then he's good at every range, and you can never dive him.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, if it was up to me, I would remove that fucking team up from Wolverine because it's Like, I think that team up is maybe removing team ups is a bad thing to do, but I think that that's terrible or massively increase the cooldown. And I would probably put Cyclops to 250 instead of 275. I would make him.
I like that.
Less survivable. And I think that that's probably all you need to do, apart from some adjustments we could talk about later to Mantis and Ultron. I think those characters, they just need changes. Those characters just forever, whatever broken DPS comes out is just going to be even more broken with those characters. Maybe you could say it's not their fault, it's Cyclops' fault, but we've seen it with Torch, we've seen it with Elsa, we've seen it with any flavor of the month DPS just becomes even more busted when you add a Mantis and an Ultron and triple support every single time.
Maybe we'll use some of that duct tape on your mic to tape Mantis's hands to her waist so she can use her leaves or something. I just noticed that. Sorry.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. So
I need to write nerve support on this.
I like
Really,
that. I like
okay.
comms, or subscribe.
Or subscribe. Hey, that's a good point. Honestly, we're really close to 10K subs, and we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. We're gonna have a lot of hype guests coming. We have a whole roster of people that we want to have on. And if there's any other people that you want us to have on, let us know in the comments down below, or spam their Twitch. Spam it. Say, come on to the pod. Come on to the Clear Comms pod. Come on to the Clear Comms pod. Anyway, sorry. Don't do that. But maybe do that.
So you brought up an interesting point that I want to talk about, because my favorite subject is talking about hero design, balance, intelligent ways to kind of bridge the gap and make this divide that we have between high rank and low rank a bit more like navigatable.
Right.
So you say Cyclops is primary fire.
Yes.
Easier to land. I kind of felt the same way. I don't know I don't know the exact mechanics behind that. But would you say that that's a balance mechanism to potentially make it so now that the skill ceiling on this hero is lower, you can kind of make him a little better in... There's not so much a gap between the high ranks and the low ranks.
Agreed, yes.
Okay, so that to me is a sign that we're going in the right direction, even though he's clearly overpowered, and NetEase has shown that they want the hero releases to be strong. But when you have these...
That's actually a really smart point.
They've been doing...
think about that. Because
that's
the problem with Hela. That's always been the problem with Hela, is that she's just too hard for the average person. So there was just such a huge balance discrepancy between Celestial Plus... players that could hit their shots reliably and everyone else who couldn't. And that's why we had hella debates for it. That's actually a really great point. And I think everyone at all ranks are on the same page about Cyclops. Even on console, they're on the same page about Cyclops that we are. But people were not on the same page with Hela. That's a great point. That's a great point.
And so they've been trying to do this now for pretty much since the start of the year. They've been reducing skill expression slightly in ways that it's not too much of a cost in the fun department, but bringing heroes more in line between their high ends and their low ends. So I think Cyclops was a great release because I see the vision. And I think a lot of people who like to criticize NetEase, you're right to have your opinion, but I think a lot of where the disappointment comes from is just your goals don't align with theirs, and they're trying. I can tell they're trying. I can see I think they're actually pretty talented. A couple changes leave you scratching your head, but I think everything they do has some sort of motivation, even if it's just a PR change occasionally, like whatever +5 to your damage, which actually would be huge for a lot of heroes. But any thoughts on that before I say the next one with Cyclops?
No. So I wanted to talk about. So you didn't really play Overwatch, but they did this exact thing where. The idea that an infinitely scaling ceiling is actually not necessarily healthy for balance.
It's not.
And what they did is they made it so that, in Overwatch, the projectiles used to be really small. Every bullet was really small. Every projectile was really small. And you could crouch instantaneously. So, people wanted to hit you in the head, you could instantly crouch and then move side to side, and your head hitbox was very, very difficult to hit, and the bullets were really small. So the movement gap was so massive, and the mechanical gap was so massive that people didn't really no one really was on the same page with a character like Tracer, where you can make a character like Tracer with good movement, you're so fucking hard to hit. People have to be so good mechanically to hit you. You could take that movement and go into the low elos, and they can't even touch you. They can't even hit you at all. They can't even do the bare minimum of the functions to even interact with you in any way.
Deadlock.
And then what they did is they made HP bars bigger. They made movement less. You couldn't move quite as much. It was easier to hit. They made the projectiles bigger. And at the time I criticized it, but thinking about this and watching Rivals play out, I get it. I get it.
Your game's got to be successful at the end of the day. I mean, you said it with Paz, man. Game's got to be successful. And Rivals... It's not a knock to anyone who plays this game in a competitive capacity. It's not as competitive as other games. It's not. It's not.
Right.
It's easier to land shots. I mean, I don't have a big background in shooters, but I know enough to know I got better aim on Magneto with the little explosion skittle at the end than I do on whatever. I played Counter-Strike a little bit. I sucked. I was a Call of Duty kid, but So I think bridging that gap in clever ways that don't feel like shit is going to, in the long term, be able to, okay, now we have a middle ground where Cyclops players, they all have like decent aim. Now we can, so when I saw Cyclops' kit, I'm like, oh, he's going to have lower damage than another hit scan. Turns out he doesn't really.
Not really.
But I thought that's what they were going for. And that, but now
Maybe
we're in a
he
position.
will eventually. Maybe
Right.
he will eventually.
I think that's the direction he's going in. And I think that's hopefully what we want to see for a lot of things is maybe don't make the releases super crazy like Black Cat was. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree. Leave your comments, but make it so that there's enough skill expression to where you can still differentiate yourself, but still operate under this game system where a rocket can hold down right click and get to eternity, right? There has to be some middle ground.
It would be very interesting because I don't know how you feel about Dino right now, but my take on Dino is that he's good in the right situations. He's reasonably good in the right situations, but he's not busted anymore. I don't know what would have happened if he was just released in the state he is right now, like that originally. I don't know how much perception plays a role in how good a character is. Like, would people still perceive him to be busted?
It's really interesting.
Or do people realize it now because they compare him to his old self and they knew how strong he was then and they understand his weaknesses now? Or would they just be like, oh, this character's still fucking busted, and they'd still be asking for his nerfs because everyone's locking the new character?
I think if he released in a busted state, and Gambit is still being banned in every single one of my lobbies, then I think after the outrage that was experienced from the high rank community from Dino, I think most of the lower and mid rank players really liked his release. I think probably everybody would just be fine with him and be like, yo, this is a great release. Looking back, the grounding on flyers was a bit obnoxious. But that was actually something I thought they should have kept in and just nerfed in.
I probably nerfed his other ways. Yeah.
I mean, the way you play against...
you can still kind of contest flyers, you can.
Yeah, it still does damage at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's decent damage.
You're still bleeding them. Yeah, you're still doing something. Better than a lot of tanks can do.
I think Dino's in the perfect spot right now. I still think I'd like to see them reallocate the power, still take it away from his big shield a little bit, and maybe lower his cooldowns, I think.
Let's actually go through. Let's talk real quickly. Tank, DPS, and support. Let's start with tank. How do you feel about the role? How do you feel about the balance of the role?
I wanted to do one more, bring up one more point about Cyclops.
Oh, yeah. Let's
because you brought up the triple healer Cyclops comp.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then before it was the triple healer Elsa comp. And
right.
This is a problem that I have noticed in every single competitive game I have ever played is one of the biggest problem communities have with the type of comps that are allowed in a game, and people hate playing against hyper carry comps, like enabling one overpowered DPS to just run the lobby.
So to give you an example, I was playing in about C1 the other day, and I queue into J3 and flats, which I love both these guys. J3 plays Cyclops, I play Cyclops. So I have one game where I play Cyclops against him, and it's a fun game. He's peeking, I'm peeking. We're challenging each other on off angles. Sometimes he gets me, sometimes I get him. We have a good fight, and it's fun. And it's a close match. The second game, I queue again. I play against them again. And the guys around them decide to go triple sup, Mantis Ultron. And that first game was a fun experience where I got to duel him. I don't get to duel him anymore. I don't get to fight him. I don't get to challenge him. He can one-tap me instantly because he has the damage boost. He constantly is getting healed, and he gets random damage boost buffs and mobility buffs. It's not even remotely close. Like, in one game,
they just stat you down. They just walk main and stat you down.
Yeah, and so one game was an interactive game where I felt like sometimes I got the best of him, sometimes he got the best of me, and my individual play mattered. And then in the next game I played against him, the exact same player, he's Thanos, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't ever. The only way that I can play that game is just try not to feed, do the best I can, No,
the best way you can win that game is beg your team to swap.
No, we were on Jeff, I think we were on Jeff White Fox or some shit. It doesn't matter. Like that's the problem is these Voltron comps are, if they feel like mirror or lose. That's it. They feel mirror or lose.
Oh, they are. I mean, because you just can't expect. There's so little margin for error with the amount of safety that the sustain from those comps provides, while not giving up any damage. In fact, I believe those comps really do more damage.
They fucking might.
If I'm being
Especially if
honest.
it's like Mantis Ultron plus like another offensive shooting character. Like it could be like Mantis Ultron Loki. I even like comps like that. Like just fucking shoot at things. You're doing so much damage. It's actually absurd. I mean, you're definitely doing more damage than if you had instead of one of the supports, you had a Spider-Man. You're definitely doing way more damage than that fucking
100%.
comp. Or like a XYZ random DPS that doesn't do any damage.
I view playing against supports in this game as, for most heroes, I think Daredevil might be a bit of an exception. It's why he's so strong. Pretty much any hero, when you are going against a support, it is a skill check that is possible to complete as the diver or the person trying to kill healers, but one that in a team environment is almost always in favor of the support player. Right? So the evidence of that is the neutral game in Rivals tends to go on pretty long unless you're very coordinated and are playing a lot better than your team, because supports just have so much sustain, so many tools and ways to kill you that they can command space, control areas pretty effectively if they play as a unit, right? So those skill checks exist. So like an example would be for a Spider-Man, whatever, to kill an Ultron, when you talk about triple healer, you gotta like web him or whatever, like pull him, uppercut him, like downward slam, web. You got to do like a pretty intense combo just to get a kill, and that's if the man, and then we bring in, okay, so that skill check, a good Spider-Man's going to win that against an Ultron, but now you add in the triple healer, and a lot of those skill checks now just get completely erased. And now where
there's
like
no gap, there's no window, right?
A 70% chance for a Spider-Man to kill your Ultron now goes to like a 2%, or sorry, like a 5% chance. Like it's just not going to, and there's not enough gaps for the average player to be able to differentiate themselves in those kind of environments, which is why those hyper carry comps feel so oppressive. They feel so oppressive, and there's no real counterplay. So you mentioned reducing the health on Cyclops. That's a big thing, because now one of the opportunities with all that instant sustain is you actually can burst them. Now I wish there were other ways to other than just reducing people's health, because burst obviously is very, very valuable in Rivals, which is partly why Poke is strong to begin with. It's because they can just kill stuff really quick from a range. So it's like burst damage makes your healers have to keep up with that tempo of output.
The lower the HP of just like the average character, the less valuable healing becomes. It gives you less of a buffer. There's less of a pot to fill up, But it does suck, because it's like you're kind of nerfing a character because of other characters. So you're doing that. You're like nerfing all characters because of others. I would really just put the blame mostly on, like, for one, Ultron. I think we should really try to be very careful about putting passive healing in any of the characters. Non-deliberate healing, place it and forget it. I think that is bad design. I think it encourages these bad comps, where you can, I'm going to put this on you and I don't have to worry about you anymore, because you're handled. I don't really think that that's great design. I also think that just Mantis, like, I don't even know what we do to Mantis, but it sucks because Mantis is a fun character. I think she's a cool design. She just creates unhealthy environments, just straight up. She always has.
Do you think Mantis is a balanced hero if you could never pick her in triple? I feel like she is.
She probably is, yeah. She probably is, and she's probably like the biggest reason. Like,
still strong though.
Yeah, still great. I mean, if you wanted to like make an argument for Rollock, which I'm not arguing, by the way. We played these games before, but if you were, I think Mantis is like the number one example of a character that you can use to strengthen your argument, because she would be. You put Rollock in today, and that character is perfectly balanced as is. You could probably even buff her healing a little bit, and it'd be fine, or like change a few things about her if you wanted to. But like, and then you could rebalance Ultron and rebalance Adam, and you wouldn't break the game like you would if you wanted to do those things to make them all available in 2 supports. And you actually could end up making more support diversity in the act of doing it, of creating Rollock. But we could also, like, I don't know if Rollock is just an inevitability for these fucking games eventually. Like I said, I hate Rollock and I never want to have it in the game. But maybe there's a point in time when people say enough's enough and we put it in the game. I want us to do everything we possibly can to not do it first. Everything we possibly can. And we haven't done everything we possibly can because Mantis is still the same fundamental character that she's always been. So let's hit her hard. Let's rework Ultron. Let's do all these things. And then maybe if we just keep running into this problem over and over and over again, eventually we could be like, okay, fine. But let's try. Let's try first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And I think they've kind of, the changes to Mantis were an attempt towards that. I would argue they made her better. She's fun, though. I like Mantis. I do like playing Mantis.
What if we just took away all damage boost and she only gave speed? Is that not strong enough? Maybe you'd have to make the speed a lot more. Or if you did make it a lot more, maybe make Brawl busted. If something has 20% speed boost running at you.
I got it, bro. Make it her damage amp. You have to touch them in melee. And maybe even make it a little more. But I don't know. Maybe that would be toxic because then you'd just be camping on like a Widow or something. I don't know. Something where it's like there's more of a cost to get it off.
Right.
Could be cool. I don't know. I like Mantis, though. I like Mantis. I've been abusing her a little bit.
I would love for a way to make her healthy without ruining her gameplay loop because it's really cool. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Someone is. It's not like this problem has sprung up out of nowhere. It's been around for a while, so people have had a lot of time to think about it. So, by the way, if y'all have any ideas for Mantis or Ultron or the problems of triple support, let us know in the comments down below. We'll definitely have an episode at some point where I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of comments that people have wrote, and then we're just going to read them and talk about them. But moving on to what I wanted to talk about is the balance of every role. We aren't going to spend a ton of time here, but I want to hear your opinion about, first, tanks. On the high end, on the low end, do you think there's any, too strong tanks, too weak tanks? Do you think the role's balanced? What do you think?
I think the role is balanced. I think for the average player, though, you're going to be finding yourself in situations where you simply have less control over the outcome of a game when compared to a DPS or a healer. Now, I know in the pro scene, they don't feel that way, and there are definitely exceptions. Like, I think Rogue, for instance, Rogue is insane right now. She can legitimately 1v6 teams if she plays well enough. There's characters that have really high agency and carry potential, but I think just that reliance on teammates in a lot of situations really hinders the role in a way that I don't think the other roles have. Like, there's a certain lack of freedom that tanks have because they're kind of beholden to the objective because they have protection to burst. So I think the tanks are in a good spot. I just think there's like a few outlier DPS and healers. Like, I think the game's actually getting pretty close to balance that just kind of make it really unfun to play the role right now. But that's mainly because you have very inconsistent level of healer play, and you're going to be on solo tank a lot of the games. That's the big caveat. Like, I think if those things happen, tank probably is a better carry than DPS in a functioning team environment, which, by the way, you get it in like 10% of your games. Yeah, so it's like, is it good? Is it not? Yeah. Well, what do you consider? We talking pro play? We talking ranked? We talking solo?
That's interesting because I was watching Kaji, which I'm a fan of Kaji. He's a top ranked support player. And he had to play DPS in his tournament on the team. So the team he was put on, he had to play DPS on that team to give his team a chance. Because when he played support in a content tournament where the lobbies were very ranged in skill, he needed to be on DPS to give his team a chance to win. Aramori was on Emma. She was on tank to give her team a chance. And it's interesting because I think that when the lobbies are, like, the further apart a lobby in skill becomes, characters that have the most amount of freedom are the characters that carry the most. And the characters that have the most amount of freedom are the characters that can do the most with the least amount of resources, which are almost always DPS. Cyclops can take an angle and kill 2 people with no healing, no support, no help. That is not the case for a lot of certain tanks. You can't really do that on Groot. You can't really do that on Mag. Even Hulk requires a lot of resources. Now, there are some tanks that can kind of cheat the rules a little bit. I think like Cap can cheat the rules a little bit because he doesn't rely a lot of resources. Rogue can cheat the rules a little bit. They don't require, but like the less
Yeah.
the more resources you require to function, the less you can do, or the more responsibilities you have, the less you can do. Like, like if you're in a random lobby with players that are very, very mixed skill, I would much rather be the Cyclops than be the Cloak and Dagger. But that's not necessarily always going to be the case, depending on like the skill, like how high the skill of the lobby is, how close the skill of the lobby is.
I feel like the higher quality a game is, the more chance a tank has to affect the outcome of a game.
Agreed. I can 100% agree with that. Yeah.
I feel like the lower quality a game is, the more support does. Or, yeah, like you said, DPS. I guess it depends.
Like a DPS that's like raid bossing. It's like one of the two.
Right.
Yeah. Like a completely unchecked DPS that's killing everybody, or sustain that just prevents anything from happening, basically.
I feel like a lot of support right now, up until you get to a certain rank, is really just which team is going to make less mistakes with the ults. I think that's a lot of what climbing is. So as a support player, if you're just better than their support at using your ultimates, you may not carry in a way that a DPS could, but you're going to make sure your team doesn't get carried on, I guess. Like, you kind of stop the nonsense if you just know how to use your ult. And so
we played a game with Full Metal Lamps, who is going to be a guest on the podcast.
That was a fun game.
Point. It was a fun game. And he might be the only creator that hates supports more than you do. And that's why I'm trying the opposite of like bringing on people that if someone is a support player that like really doesn't think support is very strong, wants to argue for the viability of supports and the buffs of supports, come on, we can have a battle between you and Full Metal Labs. But anyways, he made a TikTok about the Cloak and Dagger that was on our team, who I didn't know until like halfway through that game, because I was playing support pool. I didn't know halfway through that game that Cloak and Dagger was not in fucking comms. So when I was communicating, okay, all right, I pop support pool. I was like, okay, I'm gonna trigger jackpot in 4 seconds. 4, 3, she fucking cloak ults. I'm crashing out because we have 10 more seconds. The 2 and then the 8 of the jackpot, and we're just wasting a cloak ult. And
it was really bad.
It was very,
really
very, very bad.
Really bad.
But it's weird because like on one hand I get so mad because I always communicate positive and I want to like communicate and I want to set up plays. But like that Cloak and Dagger obviously turned off comms because they probably get berated a lot. So like I get why they turn off comms, but it's like I'm not trying to berate you. I'm just trying to communicate and work with you. But now I want to berate you because you're out of comms and you fucked up our play. That shouldn't have been, if you were just in comms, you wouldn't fuck.
You're supposed to be the voice of reason.
But I'm not. I don't.
Good
I
cop,
don't actually,
bad cop.
No. I just yell to chat. I never yell at a person.
We play good cop, bad cop. I yell at him, say a couple words. The customer will say, "It's okay. We got this."
Yeah,
listen to him, and I'm typing to him in squad chat. Tell him to do this. Tell her to do this.
And you and Kingslayer is like bad cop, worst cop. Bad.
No, I play good cop with him.
No. Bad cop, canceled cop. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, no. But yeah. So, anyways, he'll be on. So there'll be plenty of support hate going forward. But like, I've been playing support a lot actually. I've been playing a lot of support pool. I've been playing a lot of Luna. I want to make the record clear. So, I put out tier lists. I put evaluations on characters. I was dead wrong about support pool. I'll be the first to say how wrong I was about the strength of that character. Because that character is busted. I think that character is very, very strong. I love abusing that character. And there's a couple of reasons why I think I completely missed the mark. The number one is I was a tank pool abuser. And for the longest time, I just thought, hey, tank pool's the best pool to play. Play tank pool. Don't play any other pool. And I was mad when people locked support pool or DPS pool over my tank pool. Once tank pool got nerfed and weakened, I didn't give support pool like a true evaluation. But that character is very, very good when played properly. But that's another problem is like there was like, I would ask the opinions of chat and even high rank players, and no one would really give me a straight answer about like the right way to build the character. So I couldn't really figure out. Like I had to kind of navigate it myself, get a lot of advice from people. Support pool is a very interesting type of support that I think kind of breaks the rules of support. And that's probably another reason why I was completely wrong about this character, because I think this character is crazy. The damage that support pool outputs is much, much higher than tank pool right now. Like, way higher. The support ult is comparable to a Mantis ult that you can delay the trigger. You can either pop it early and rush a team, or you can delay the trigger and, like, give your team a very long, drawn-out Mantis ult that can last for, like, 12 seconds. And, like, there have been times where I've popped ult, we ran in, baited at a Luna ult, they pop Star-Lord ult, then I trigger Jackpot, and I deny the Star-Lord ult by, tanking with my team and healing it with Jackpot, and then, so I successfully baited out the Luna ult, stopped the Star-Lord ult, and we just basically win the I'm going to get my ult again faster than that Luna's going to get ult. Like, it's such a character that kind of breaks the game, to the point where it's almost scary, because I feel like that character could really break the game if he was like really, really break the game if he was even slightly stronger.
Yeah, how much do you think support pull being good is he's very mechanically demanding versus knowledge checks on how to use his cooldowns at the right times? Like what's more important?
It's like 99-1. Like, it's mostly just using your cooldowns at the right time.
Really?
Because with the
I always
bounce,
thought he was harder to play. But I don't know.
No, DPS pool is hard to play. Support pool is really, it's mostly about game sense. It's almost all game sense. Because the reality of it is, with the bouncing ability, so like the bouncing ability, once you upgrade that bouncing ability, it throws it out, it heals and does damage, and then it comes back to you and throws it out and comes back to you and throws it out, right? That does a crazy amount of damage, so you could just kill things. Like, I'm saying, like, magnitudes more damage than tank pool. You can literally just win a 1v1 with that ability. What that ability also does is it triggers Jackpot. It runs through enemies, and like every enemy it hits, it will trigger Jackpot once. So, like, basically you just throw it into a crowd, and then it does it twice, and you get Jackpot. So what that really means is you can just trigger Jackpot late or whenever you want to. You run in, then you could just trigger Jackpot. You play defensive, you wait, then you trigger Jackpot late. Like, you get to basically just trigger Jackpot, which, those of you who don't know, Jackpot is the big burst of healing that you give to everyone around you with your swords. Yeah, basically, yeah. So you can effectively trigger it at any time. In fact, what I'll do is let's say I'm fully leveled, or I'm leveled enough, and I can actually build my ultimate. I just walk up to my team, I let them fight, I throw in the bouncing thing and shoot and heal. One cycle of that, so one cooldown will get you your ult. Then you wait 2 or 3 seconds, whip out your swords, pop your ultimate. You're gonna get that bouncing cooldown back before the Jackpot ends or the ult ends, and then you can just trigger Jackpot. So, like, it's one cycle to get your ult, and then you have your ult. It's
you can be so aggressive on this hero. Like, you can push the tempo so quickly and just outpace people.
He's a pure tempo character, which that's what I love so much about him, is that he's
cool. He's a cool hero.
But he does require team play. Like, if your team is not pushing in when you pop it, they need to be. Your team needs to be matching that pace. Communication really matters. It's specifically if you have one tank that matches your tempo, it's amazing. But if you don't, sometimes it sucks. It just feels bad.
Dude, we were running our lobbies.
We were just running it down. Yeah,
we were just running shit.
Because you will match that tempo, and then you have plenty of resources to just go as deep as you need to, or do as much as you want.
I'm pro heal pull. I like when he heal pulls on my team. I've come full circle. He used to be like old Jeff, which I wanted to ask you, because we were talking about how strong a hero should be on release. We said Black Cat was too strong, and then what that looked like. Heal pull, by pretty much everybody in the community, thought not a hero you want on your team, weak on release. If heal pull was released in his current state, now that I think he mostly got
buffs slightly.
He got buffs. I mean, he got 15 seconds off of his added to his ult, so that was a nerf. But overall, like, not a very big one, because you still get one every fight pretty much. Right. I mean, would you say that's accurate? He's been buffed. I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It wasn't massive buffs from his. So his launch, he was super busted, because there was no cooldown on pool ult at all.
Oh.
There was a cooldown, but if you died and came back, there was no cooldown. Like,
Oh, okay, right,
So
right.
you just died in, like, there was no cost to just use ripping it. To be honest with you, that's the fun thing about all the pools, is like the knowledge gap is crazy. If you could take what you knew now and could just apply them to tank pool back then and support pool back then, you could just run every lobby.
Yeah,
Especially,
that's
yeah.
So
like,
you
really
do you
everywhere.
think release heal pool was, which was a hero that was like 40%, 30, like in the like really low win rate, is on par, knowing what you know now, with Black Cat?
They should have been like, it should have been like an A tier plus character, most likely, on release, and you just didn't know. Like, you don't know how to build it until you, like, it's just, there's just a lot of knowledge you got to kind of figure out. No one really knows what the abilities do. The fact that the bouncing thing triggers jackpot, how much damage that does. I mean, think about even tank pool. Like, in my opinion, release tank pool, before they changed the ultimate, before they did anything, release tank pool is the strongest character that this game has ever seen. Launch tank pool.
Wow.
Day one. I honestly think that character could completely run lobbies, and people didn't know how much he could run lobbies. You could just, if you knew what you know now, you're a good tank pool player today, I think you could go back and just be the best player in the world for like a week, until people just like looked at your gameplay and like, oh, what the fuck is he doing? Oh shit, I can do that? What? I can ult an invis, run in the backline, kill a DPS, kill another DPS, kill the invis, and no one can kill me. No one can do anything, because they literally can't, because you have infinite health. And like, I think it's just but it's crazy that it took time for people to realize. There's a big gap, like kind of exactly what we were talking about before, how long it takes people to get good at a character.
Well, how much would you attribute that to just the fact that they released 3 at once?
Ooh.
That it's kind of spread.
That is spread. That is true. Because people are also finally figuring out that DPS pool is really good too. Like, people have finally come around to DPS pool. It took forever on that character. And people are kind of realizing that, especially when he's fully leveled, he might be the best dive BTFs in the game. Like, I think fully leveled DPS pool is better than Daredevil, but only when he's fully leveled. For the trick is, most of the game he's not. He's like a shell, but like when he's fully leveled, he's insane. He's fucking super insane. But yeah.
So those
it's
periodic buffs though, and then for tank pool nerfs. I mean, would you rather have a tank pool release or a heal pool release? Because that's kind of like, for win rate, I guess, at least, is like the opposite end of the spectrum.
Well,
and
yeah,
that's kind of what, like, bringing the whole.
People didn't quite know tank pool instantly. They did find out rather quickly, but I don't even think that they knew just how broken. Like, they knew he was good, but I don't think they realized just how good.
Because to me, like, Elsa, another super broken hero. That hero was overpowered because she had a more or less, I think, a simple kit. I think she's hard to play, like high skill ceiling, but she's pretty straightforward. Like, she does percentage damage to tanks from a range. You're just going to pop a tank anytime they get close, and then just like all people out. She was simple and really, like, stat-wise, overtuned. I think the hero releases that are more choice-based is kind of the direction this game should move in. Having more tactical abilities that you can use quickly, give you value, but don't necessarily auto win you a fight. It's more about pairing, like okay, I'd rather have something like whatever, make it so you can't do anything for a couple seconds, then one shot you, right? Or I'd rather have something that like maybe moves my teammate from here, like utility type spells, rather than always just more damage, more. Because I mean, that's like why Mantis is like a problem. Ultron.
It's interesting the point you made about like
blue type spells.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting what you were talking about though, like people evolving, because like as an example, I think Cyclops players aren't going to get much better than they are right now. They're going to stay the same, about this same tier of play. For like, they could individually get better, but I'm just saying, like, they're not learning deeply more about Cyclops because the character doesn't have like this infinite vat of knowledge to learn. Like with Heal Pool. Like, Heal Pool started off with a negative win rate and then did get some changes, but regardless of those changes, the win rate would have massively shifted as people actually learn how to play the character in the same way that DPS Pool has. And honestly, tank pool too. If they just would have kept him in his state, he probably would have released, because he did release on the strong side, released at 51%. Then over the next 3 months, if they didn't change him, climbing even higher, 53, then 54, then 55. It would have. But that's not how Cyclops. I think Cyclops is probably just going to sit at this, 52, 53 high win rate. But it's not going to change because the character doesn't have. There's nothing to figure out. He's pretty on the nose. You take an angle, you shoot people. Like,
yeah, no, I totally agree, and it kind of justifies them maybe releasing him as strong as he is. We talked about the damage. Like, it kind of,
he's in his final form, like, right away.
Yeah, like I don't see what variation you could make to him that would really change how he's played too much. I don't. Maybe there's some new strategy but I just. No, I mean, that's the fun part about the game is like, who knows? Maybe they'll release a hero that I don't know, like deflects his lasers and it does. Who knows?
Yeah. There's could be some broken tech around the ricochet people don't know about. I mean, maybe if there's like some tech, like, oh, if you ricochet at the left foot, it like double ricochets or some shit, it kills instantly.
Yeah.
But like, that's interesting. That's very interesting how Deadpool is just like a very interesting just study. In hindsight, I think that was one of the best characters they ever released. I know it was technically 3 characters. But the fact that we've gotten to a point where, one of them was really giga broken, but like support pool all this time later is actually finding their footing. And DPS pool is actually finding a place as well. Even when on release, they didn't. Like, this is like best case scenario for a character. But like, not every character gets to do that. Like, Blade did not. Like, it didn't matter how much people tried to make Blade work. The character was just fundamentally bad, and he needed buffs in order to become good, which I don't think is necessarily the same truth to the these characters that have really deep kits that they just needed to figure out. Interesting.
Definitely a fan of the more complex heroes, but not so much the bag of tricks on Black Cat.
Maybe intentful complexity instead of right. Like, that's just random complexity. Like. That's yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a certain level of fun that comes from the simplicity of something. So you can kind of like, for instance, the reason I like Hulk is because you don't really have to be too locked in from a mechanical perspective to deal your damage. It's more about where you position, right? So you're not he's more of a macro character, and you think more in that sense strategically. So it's really satisfying. Because it's very unique.
I feel very similar about Thor. I feel very similar about Thor because I don't feel that way. If I don't get like all my aim training in, like before I play like a certain type of aim character, Psylocke as an example, then I feel handless. But like I can just queue up straight on Thor and I feel good. My game sense is the same. Like I still think it's just I don't need to warm up and do all this like perfect micro things like it's the macro like you talked about.
Yeah, Thor seems like he really flows, just always has some kind of movement option.
Yeah. Speaking of Thor, we got to buff Thor. I made a post a while ago that was like, it was a meme that's like Thor in D tier. But like now I actually kind of feel like he is in D tier. Like it was a joke then. It was a joke back then. And now it's not a joke. I mean, I don't really think he's in D tier. I think every tank, like there are DPSs, like, how do I put it? D and below tier, there's only DPS in those tiers. There is no D and below tanks. There is no D and below supports.
I don't even think there's an A and below supports. I think all supports are high A or S. I'm not even like that's kind of true though.
Adam's solo, but like it's weird.
Adam,
it gets weird. It gets weird.
But Adam though is good.
In triple, he's very good. Yeah, Thor. I actually do. I know it's gonna just sound like propaganda coming from me. I actually do think he needs buffs because I think he's the worst of all the off tanks right now. Once again, I actually don't care if he's viable or not. Just if he is weak, which he is right now, can we at least get an ult that works? That's all I ask for. Just an ult that works. Make it do something. Allow me to cancel it. If I fly above a Luna and press Q, and the Luna pops ult, don't make me slam down there and die. let me cancel it and fly away. I don't know. That's my take. That's my only take. I don't know how you feel about Thor. I just feel like this is probably his worst season ever, probably. At least in
Yeah.
my
Well, I think again, just adding all these really strong damage heroes to the game is going to kind of affect the tanks that are more based on taking damage and being able to withstand the output. Tanks are, to me, the first victims of power creep, and I would argue there's a bit of that going on right now still with, triple heal. Like Thor, I feel like he was really bad into triple.
Oh, yeah. Unless people are not paying attention, yeah. Like he's good at finding gaps in like bad teams, but the second people are all looking at you and shooting at you at the same time, he's not like Venom that can shrug off damage, and he's not like Mag that can protect himself from it. He is just gonna die.
Would you say it's a bit of meta too? Dive being a little less prevalent. Thor is probably a pretty good answer into dive, right?
He's not the best answer.
No, definitely not the best.
He's kind of just a jack of all trades, master of none. But like, I feel like you just want a lot of specialists right now, like things that do one thing very well. I mean, Thor's always going to be great sub-celestial. He's always going to be great because you just get to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's good enough, right? In a lot of ways, Thor is very DPS-like, where he just gets a lot of flexibility as far as how he plays. But he's also DPS-like in the fact that he can just die, and that is like when you need to do tanking jobs, he just is not your guy. When you need to hold a point down, he's not your guy. When you need to hold space, play a front line, he's not your guy.
He's pretty feast or famine from what I've seen in the higher ranks.
Yeah, you either barely getting away with everything and you're never dying, or you're getting away with nothing and feeding every single time. Unfortunately, on the character. It's funny because we've talked about like the power creep argument. It's like, I think like if Thor was released today, he would look like Thor in the PvE zombie mode. Like that would be what he is, flying around fucking blitzing through. But no, he's just one of those characters.
Permaflight with the
right?
It'd be sick.
Well, he's just one of those characters that is probably gonna slowly get outpaced by power creep over time, most likely. He's just like, when you do a little bit of everything but nothing great, eventually there are going to be other things that do a little bit of everything better, and you're just like going to get buried a little. Okay, so we talked about those. Any other outliers you think? Any too strong tanks, or you think it's all reasonable? I don't really think there's any like broken tank. I would like tank pool buffs. I'm only arguing for buffs of the characters I play, but I am.
Cap is definitely the best overall tank right now in the hands of a good player.
He is very, very good too. But
I don't even think feels terrible to play against though. It's mainly just his ult. I think is just so much. It's such insane value. I mean,
because it's like
best caps.
It's like a support, yeah.
Right. It's just so useful and ranked, just giving you extra fights. So, and then the ult charge generation.
That is a good point. His ult is incredible. I think that you could. I think ult is if you did want to nerf. I don't necessarily think he needs a nerf, but if you did want to nerf him, ult's the easiest thing to do because it doesn't change the experience of the lower rank lobbies or the lower rank players, but it does make him weaker in the higher rank lobbies. We talked about, like, I think that's a change that you can make that actually works. Like weakening his damage, weakening his survivability. Those are things that are going to be felt by low rank players. But if you just nerf his ult charge or nerf his ult duration or nerf his ult sustain, those are things that more will affect high rank players without ruining the cap experience for low rank players, which I think is probably a reasonable change.
I actually think that's an interesting point because normally I would, like, just off of the principle of it, probably disagree with you. But I think with Cap, he is a unique case because of the coordination required with his ultimate. When I don't, because normally when you have ults that are click a button and get value, if you
like
nerf those,
Sio would be heavily felt by
the lower ranks, right? But for Cap, uniquely in particular, that coordination, knowing when to we'd run in with this, or tell your supports stay in the fight and let's win the fight because I'm about to cap ult after like all the support ult slop goes down. It's like you have another 10 seconds of not dying. That's a better offensive ult, as Fox said, than a DPS ult. And then you get the ult charge. It's just you get too much value. Too much value for free.
It's also kind of funny you say that because Venom was also a unique one that was not felt. Like that 30% the 30% increase in ante and like all the changes to Venom, none of that really matters when most sub Grandmaster Venoms don't actually do the grasp combo. They don't do the grasp combo. You need to do the grasp combo in order for that ult to be able to kill through Invisible, in order for that ult to be a consistent ultimate. You know, you pop grasp, and then at the halfway mark, you pop your ultimate. And that is like ultimates that are free value are gonna be ultimates that the lower ranks really feel the changes to, and ultimates that are earned value or game sense oriented value or teamwork oriented value, they won't feel the changes.
So by that logic, then, with the Venom change where they gave him healing reduction debuff on the ultimate, do you think that was a change that, because I'm sure Venom is, most people would agree, is a hero that is really, really good in the higher ranks in the hands of a skilled player. But in the lower ranks, even though, you know, he's a big ball of stats, probably not so much, because he's very dependent on like a certain level of aggression, and he's kind of technical with his primary. So do you think that healing reduce kind of made it like bridge the gap, as we were talking about earlier, with like lower rank heroes? Because he just gets that added value that in higher ranks you're just going for one shots anyway. Or did it make him even better in higher ranks?
I think it made him better in higher ranks, because if they wanted to do it for lower ranks, they would have just gave him more HP. I think they would have just made it so that it converted more HP instead of more, because basically what that does, you just have the ability to kill through defensives, which I think low rank players would just not able to do no matter what. Like if they don't combo well, not just the combo, you need team focus fire too. You're just not getting that. You're just not getting team focus fire either.
Just make his primary hitbox just way better. That's how you buff him in lower ranks, right?
Yeah,
he's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to hit.
Venom's an entire interesting conversation, because I think Venom is a great designed character. I know that might be a hot take. Because
he's a tank. He's an actual tank.
On paper, he should run low elo lobbies. He should run them, because he should be, because high elo with all that coordination, they still can't kill him reliably unless you have the right comp. Even with everyone looking at him, they can't kill him reliably unless you have the right combination. So on paper, you'd think, oh shit, this character is probably broken in low elo, but they added enough skill checks to his kit, enough skill ceiling to his kit. You need to cycle in and out properly. You need to know how to slam in and out properly. You need to know how to time your E. You have to time your E. The lower in HP you are, the more HP you gain, the more shields you gain. So that's another skill check. The grasp into the ultimate, that's another skill. So like they added all these skill checks that make it so that this character that should be a giga broken stat monster in low elo isn't, because most low elo players cannot do XYZ, which I think that's just genius. I don't know if they did that on purpose or is it a complete accident, but it's the thing that keeps them in check. Like, can you imagine if you didn't need to do any grasp timing in order to get the same one-shot capability on Venom? If you just were very, forgiven for, swinging in, swinging out. Maybe you just got to swing in and then you get to swing out. Easy swing, simple swing in and out. You just pressed E, and instead of the lower HP, the more shields you gain, you just pressed E and it just gave you 1,000 shields no matter what. Doesn't matter your HP, you just press it. That I think the character would probably just be completely unbalanced in low elo. So I don't know. Maybe they backdoored their way into that. I mean, we don't really talk about, oh, this is good design. We only talk about the bad, but I think it is good design.
I mean, I know win rate this, win rate that. Right at 50%, in higher rank you go, it creeps up into a bit higher. How do you feel about Emma right now, since we're still talking about the tanks?
I think she's good. I think she's not great always, but I think there's enough tank matchups you could play her. So she's good against any Dino comp if you play against Dino. She is a good supplement to a lot of frontline tanks. So if you're playing Mag or Groot or something,
because she's the most picked tank in GM Celestial Eternity by far, and I think that accounts for her win rate being a bit lower than other tanks. She's sitting at 48% against non-mirrors, which is definitely on the weaker side. But I would also say because you're being played by way more people, the average skill level is probably going to be a little lower.
A lot of filling to her.
Yeah. She's a popular hero.
She's a pretty good solo tank comparatively to a lot of characters too. She has reasonable solo tanking tools. I think that Emma's in a fine spot. I don't think that she's like broken. I don't think that she's underpowered. I don't particularly like her gameplay loop to play it, but if we're just talking about from a power level point of view, I think it's reasonable. Yeah, I think most of the roster on tanks is actually balanced, more balanced than we've seen in a long time. The tank role actually has been really reasonably balanced for a while. I did want to talk about the DPS role though. Any anomalies? I've talked a lot about low rank players. I've got a lot of feedback from the comments. They basically said like there are some low tier characters that the general population is just fine with being low tier. So like I kind of brought up this point a lot about like the idea of Squirrel Girl. Oh, what if you made Squirrel Girl have a really high skill ceiling and you changed her kit and you made like a natural arc so that she's better as you get higher rank? Same thing with Scarlet Witch. But like the general pushback I've gotten in the comments is, no, actually, it's okay that there are characters that are just not viable. Like they just fall off. Like it's okay that certain characters are good in low elo and not good at high elo. And I can understand that. I think I could relatively agree with some of those points. So, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like there should be changes to like the Squirrel Girls and the Storms and the Scarlet Witches and the Hawkeyes, or do you think, no, actually, these characters, it's better if they're not good? And then, on the high end, are there any outliers that you would like to see nerfed? Any B tier characters you would like to see be meta?
Yeah, to me, Star-Lord is a pretty big problem. I think they went so overboard with him evaluating where the skill cutoff is for being able to just pick them every game now. You just pick if you're good enough on him, you just pick them every game. I feel like I don't think there's ever a bad time to pick Star-Lord.
So I played a little bit with Super Stupid, who's a Hulk player as well. I played a little bit of games with him, and he was banning Star-Lord as a Hulk because he's a Hulk one trick. Because he's like, you can't contest it. You just can't do anything about him. Like, he's uncontestable.
Once a Star-Lord reaches a certain skill level, we talk about the skill checks that, the 70-30 with the Ultron versus Spider-Man. With Star-Lord, you can't do anything. You need help, and even then, you're only going to slow him down. You're never going to stop him. Psylocke functions similarly, although not as bad and with more opportunities to counterplay because her cooldowns are a bit more that gate her in her mobility. Star-Lord, he's just obnoxious, and once, like I said, you hit a certain point. I mean, this is the Hulk matchup. I'm sure there's, but he's just. I don't think there should ever be a hero, and this is kind of why I brought up Emma, that should just be able to be picked every single time in a game.
You think Emma's really strong? I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think Emma.
I thought you were saying that Emma was weak. Okay, yeah, because I put Emma. No. I think I put Emma in my S tier. Like I put her very strong.
No, I think she's top 3 tank.
Yeah, and because she just fits into so many comps. I mean,
yeah, simple, easy to play, never loses a fight.
I think she's probably not that strong when players are better. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong because Emma's become more disciplined, but she can only really grab one person. She doesn't have the ability to stop everything. If people are more coordinated in their engagements, she gets weaker. I would be curious her pro pick rate. I don't know. Like I know the pros matches are going on right now. I'm very curious about how much they're playing her in their games. I know that they favor dive and mobility, but she's like the antithesis to that. She's like, I ain't moving, but I'm stopping.
Yeah. So I mean, I got winning a lot of games, pushing for eternity, and then you all of a sudden you get an Iron Fist and a Wanda on your team, and you're in a certain rank, and it's just like GG, we lose. So it raises an interesting argument where you get to a certain point. We mentioned BP earlier, where the heroes just stop working, and you can't really get mad at the people for playing them. It's like, what do you do? It's an ethical dilemma, which I've gone back and forth in my head quite a bit about.
Yeah, it's also like sometimes you have to beg the question because how it works. I know we're getting kind of in the weeds. I know we're not going to talk too much about EOM, but
I read the PDF on NMatch. I was ready to go with it, but we can save it for another time if you want. I see the numbers of the Matrix.
No, but anyways, I watched their response. So you know the response video they had to Eon, like the accusation. So I watched that video. It was a pretty long video, and I read all about it. How performance-based matchmaking works is it's comparing, like, there's a lot of factors that it takes into account. Part of it is like, you know, what your rank is relative to the lobby. You know, if you're like a diamond player playing in a grandmaster lobby, you're going to get more points, whatever. Of course, MVP and SVP is going to get you, you know, MVP is going to make you win more points because you're overperforming. How they calculate that is they calculate your individual performance into like this algorithm that also compares you against people that play your character at your rank. They're comparing, because otherwise it would be very hard to evaluate, does this character deserve MVP? Does this character deserve SVP? If they're just looking at the raw numbers, because Squirrel Girl's always going to have more damage than fucking Spider-Man, right? So they want to compare, okay, these are your stats on Spider-Man. What is the average Grandmaster 2 Spider-Man stats look like across all lobbies? Okay, it's this. Okay, are you above that or below that? And then they compare you to your team. Are you above that and below that? So like, are you above or below? They're above and below compared to the other people in. You know,
they're all. It's a bunch of parabolas.
Right.
The tail end being your peak rating and where you're. You know, and those can change, and I'm sure they have algorithms that can like track that. And when you're in rank up games, I suspect. I mean, they didn't say it explicitly. They do talk about matching you with preferred roles. There is actually, believe it or not, if Marvel Rivals uses NMatch, which I don't know if that's confirmed, there is actually already soft role queue in the game. EOMM does actually benefit you in a lot of ways. That's also, I think, why there's a tank tax, because.
Well, I mean, we could talk about. I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole. I was making a different point, but like the problem, the whole problem with the EOMM debate is they have never publicly stated that they've used it in Rivals, even though they created it a long time ago. That's the problem. They've never publicly admitted that they've used it. I mean, you could try to find it, but they've never publicly admitted that they've used it. But what I'm specifically talking about is I'm talking about as they describe it. So what I'm saying is that if you are overperforming as Wanda in Celestial, you can farm SVP's performance bonuses at a higher rate. So like it's harder for me as Cyclops to get those performance bonuses because the standard to get a good Cyclops stat is so much higher because every Cyclops is dropping 20 and 5, right? But the average Wanda in Celestial is probably dropping some dog shit stats. So because XLex made a video respond to the EOMM thing, and he came to all these conclusions, and I responded to it because he made all these things about the rank system, and what I was saying is he's actually he's a beneficiary of it because he's an overperformer on a character that people consistently underperform at in the ELOs that he's in. So he's actually going to be gaining more than, you know, if he did the exact same amount of wins on, you know, a character like Punisher, because the average value is higher. And I'm not taking anything away from his skill or anything like that. But what I am saying is that when you see a Wanda or an Iron Fist, or maybe not an Iron Fist, but like a Wanda or a Squirrel Girl, whatever lord in your lobby, you always have these questions. Did this person even have a positive win rate to get here? Did this person have as positive a win rate as I did to get here? You know, like that's
you are. You get ready. Clip this. You put this at the start of the podcast. Most people in ranked benefit from EOMM. Most people do. Not everybody. Most people. I'm telling you, because like you said with the performance. But
what I'm talking about is this isn't this. I mean, you could call this EOM if you want, but this is what they admit to doing in their game. This is what they told us about the rank system in response to people saying, "Hey, you have EOM." No, we don't have EOM, but this is what we do. We do this. It's like,
how is rewarding players against other players not even in your game conducive to increasing the ranked competitive integrity of the game? It should be completely random.
People have argued this to me forever. It has to do with a performance-based system. We operate under a performance-based system where they are trying to take factors about your individual performance and put that into account with how much points they're giving you. If you played well, you're going to get more points.
That's
if you played
EOMM.
bad, you're going to get less points.
Because those people get to a rank that they shouldn't be in, and then that's the matchmaking. And it's
the same people that scream EOMM to me. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying other people that have. They are the same people that get mad when they lose the same amount of points as they're inting Spider-Man. It's like, newsflash, if you want a flat system, no performance, a loss is a loss.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of people.
You eat the loss. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if you went 40-2 on Hulk and I went 10-10 on Spider-Man. We gain the same in a win. And we lose the same in a loss. And people don't like that concept. But if you don't want that concept, then you create this performance system that has all these loopholes and all this bullshit that maybe feels EOMM-ish. But I'm fine with getting fucking rid of it. But I don't know if everyone else is.
Needs to realize that a lot of you actually benefit from EOMM, but once you understand this one thing, and this applies to a lot of other free-to-play games, you, the player, you're the product, okay? Not the skins you bought. You are an advanced AI put in the games that now the game can be advertised as a competitive player versus player game to give people that experience. You are essentially a tool that they use for fast queues to keep everybody on and in the cycle of playing this health bar go up, damage bar, stat point type game. You are the product. Whatever your behavior is being manipulated by the rank system to basically increase the game's market share and allow for more people to be playing at once and chasing that ranked dragon. And that's why a lot of people can get into Celestial. I see it so clearly now, Mills. It's so obvious. Like, once I read the PDF, it's this crack this case wide open, man. It's Apex Dobby got me onto something good, man. Which, by the way, we need to get him back on. I'm telling you. One more thing before you.
No, I know, but okay.
So player behavior. Okay, how do you beat it? So you are the product. They are encouraging you. They're giving you the freedom. You can swap to whatever you want. They want you to do that. So if you want to climb rank, what do? You fill for what your team needs. You roll your eyes, and you go and play Mag because they have a Punisher. You be the difference you want to see, and you will climb. That is the game, unfortunately. So they are basically encouraging people who want to climb, hey, you're going to have to go through this hurdle to make the game quality for this other asshole who, is benefiting from this system, not going to do it. And that's you're throwing Spider-Mans, and there's limits to this. How much you are willing to swap is almost directly correlated to your rank, to a certain extent, I think. Because, you see it, Mills, like the higher rank you go, more Mantises, more Ultrons, more triple supports. The BPs, they cap out at C2. It all makes sense.
But of course there's going to be, like, here, I think that there is a...
You are the product. You.
If you're good enough, you don't have to be flexible. I think that's
So I tell my teammates every day.
But I think there's some truth to that. If you're good enough, Pirate King Momo is the furthest thing from fucking flexible you could possibly find, and he hits rank 1. He consistently top 500. And
I think he's a pretty smart player, but there are. He runs it down sometimes too.
No, he does, but overall he's still climbing, and he's not filling, he's not flexing, he's not playing Ultron or Mantis or any of this bullshit. If you're good enough, you don't have to follow those rules, and that's kind of why
he's like a true gamer.
I'm not trying to like completely roll my eyes at the idea of EOMM or whatever, because like I understand why people think it, even though NetEase has never publicly said they use it, they also. We just have to take their word for it. Like, we just have to trust people. I like, trust is hard, and you don't have to believe. The rank system obviously feels like dog shit. So like, it's very easy to be like, you wrote this. It doesn't matter how many years ago. You're probably using it. Whatever. Here's the thing that I kind of roll my eyes at it a little bit is, with the performance system, getting to Celestial is just a matter of time if you're good enough. EOMM, not OEM, bad matchmaking, good matchmaking. If you're good enough and you're producing consistent stats, you could just sleepwalk your way to Celestial, right? Because of those stats. And even once you get to Celestial, if you are good enough, if you're consistently good enough, you're still going to be able to climb. And people do. Like once again, Trust Me always gets to the top 10 if you're good enough. And I think that's at the rank where it's like, if you want to take this game ultra seriously, you just need to become better and be better than other people. So like, I don't really understand the large complaints. I think there's a lot of people that have complaints about the rank system and being bad, and it is fucking bad. But there's a lot of this that people are using to just kind of cope about, like, this is why you're stuck in this rank. That doesn't really exist. We've kind of seen that. If you deserve a higher rank, you'll get to that higher rank. I don't know if you agree with that.
100%. It's a choice at the end of the day. I just don't think it's a choice a lot of people want to make. And I agree with them. You should be able to have a certain expectation that you could play your hero and be good enough to win on him. That's the appeal of the hero shooter, right?
My thing is, like, people are just gonna be frustrated no matter what. Like, people are gonna be people are blaming. Let's just say people are blaming EOM right now for X, Y, and Z bad matchmaking. Let's say we got rid of EOM and it's like a perfect flat-based system and it's like a fully transparent system. I think people might even be more mad when they're faced with, like, the reality of their own skill and, like, how far it takes them, because they have nothing to blame. They have nothing to point to. They have nothing to talk about. They're just at the rank that they are, and they are, because people are very toxic and mad about Valorant too. Like, very, very mad at the rank system, mad at their teammates, mad at the game, mad at everything. When the reality was, they just weren't good enough to be into the next rank. And I think that a lot of that is still true, even if the rank system's dog shit.
Here's the thing, though. With a truly random ranked matchmaking system, purely random, based off of, you have to put some constraints on getting people within your ELO range. Right? There's always going to be some type of measurement that's going to be used to give yourself reasonable cues, right? And that, whatever, okay, how much we draw the line there, whatever. But when a truly random ranked system is used, the counter to your argument is that those people complaining won't be at a rank worth considering their opinion, because they'll never. So it's at a certain point, the good players will rise to the top. Either way, I think
right.
There is that definitely still happens, but it's only for like dude. What is the skill gap between Celestial 3 and top 500? It's the same skill gap between Celestial 3 and Bronze 3. Okay, that's the difference in skill.
True. That's true. That's
right. So that kind of aligns with what I'm saying. That everybody agrees that you can just get to whatever rank if you play enough games and then getting to that next step is that's where
I don't know. I have a hard time. I don't know. I guess I just have a really hard time buying into this EOM system where it's like everyone is universally pissed off at the game's ranked system. Everyone hates it. It isn't engaging anybody. The amount of people that I've met that have messaged me on stream that's like, does this game still have EOM? I quit that game because it's terrible. And it's like, if you're quitting, then you're not engaged. Like, I really just think that these people are just like, basically what I'm saying is, like, I don't think it matters what the rank system is. There's a lot of people that would still be mad, like, no matter EOM, no EOM. And like, to your point, if they're putting in some type of soft Q lock where they're trying to balance the lobbies at least a little bit as far as DPS and support, it's making games feel better than they otherwise would.
Yep.
Like, things could be worse. Like, people might be like, fuck this thing, the system that you're using. It might be worse. Like, if the ranks, regardless of what you call it, if the rank system adequately puts you into the tier of rank that you ultimately deserve, it's fine. Like, I think it's reasonable. I don't know. Maybe you don't agree that it's doing that well enough.
It shouldn't be doing anything well enough other than being completely random. I will stand by that.
It might make the game qualities far worse.
It would, but it would eventually sort itself out, and then now you have more truth.
But would it sort itself out, though? Because if every time you just have... Oh, you're saying that... what if sorting itself out is you're miserable because you're only solo tanking every single game?
Oh, it would definitely be worse. And then people would realize that even more so, we probably need some type of role queue. But then you get to the conversation.
It's like there are problems that they might be like, there are problems that you can solve without necessarily presenting it to the class. I don't know how to describe that. Like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's
I guess okay. What are the people that because you've become a representative of people that believe in EOMM. What do you actually want? What do you actually want? Because at this point, nothing Nettie says will convince anyone that still believes in EOM that it exists. So nothing they can say will matter. So what can they do that would satisfy?
Yeah, after your initial placements, which I think should be maybe 10 games and then another 20 where your rating is kind of inflated, meaning you get more for when you're looting. I don't think it should be about 30 games. I don't think it should be any more than that. After that initial cutoff, every game you play after that, you can expect more or less the same ELO gains or ELO losses, and it should be based purely off of the rating that you have on your team and the ratings that they have, the average together. Everybody gets the same for winning. Everybody gets the same for losing.
So on that we agree. So we might not believe in the same things.
Well, that's not how the game works.
But on the solution, we agree. I think that would that would make ranked better. I think it's more fair and it's more transparent. So I agree with that solution, and we are in agreement. Even though we didn't get there the same way, we agree with the same thing should be done. So I mean, we really do.
Yeah, none of this. The higher rank you get,
because
the
even
more
Death,
you lose.
Death would 100% agree with you. Death adamantly disagrees with EOMM, but he 100% agrees with what you propose. And I think Gallus believes in EOMM, and he also would 100% agree. Like, we agree on the solution to the thing, even if we don't agree on the same the problem. But it doesn't matter if we agree on the same solution. Like, whether you think if we think whether you think Cyclops should be nerfed because he's giga broken, busted hit scan, or I think that Cyclops should be nerfed because he creates an unhealthy balance. If we both agree on the same ultimate conclusion, it's fine, right? I think.
Not if you're light and flats.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
That's the thing is, they probably agree on 99% of things. They actually probably do agree a lot.
Yeah, I
they
think,
just talked with each other.
Yeah.
Imagine talking with each other. Fucking hell.
All right, I don't want to bog people down with the EOMM talk too much.
No,
but
we should bring it. Surprise EOMM every pod.
Yeah.
No, but no one's gonna ever,
I read the end match.
People will call you delusional. People will say that I'm coping. People will say that I'm a shill. People will say that you're, chasing a rabbit. I don't know. I don't know what people will just say whatever they want to say. But two sides. We have our own opinions, but we do agree with the same conclusion. So down below, I want y'all to let us know: are you in favor of a flat performance gain and loss, or do you like performance-based MMR? How do you feel about it? I can understand performance-based MMR for bronze and silver.
Yeah.
For Smurfs. Sure. But outside of that, it shouldn't be in the game. There's no we don't need an anti performance-based MMR, in my opinion, is only for anti-Smurfs. We don't need an anti-Smurf system in a Celestial Plus lobby. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, I just played a game before we hopped on the pod where I was the only fucking tank on my team of triple DPS. I played really passive. I played really safe. I contested objectives like I was supposed to. And I gained 16!
You get nothing. You get fucked.
I got 16!
It is literally better to hold the lobby hostage on Widow until someone swaps to a second tank, even though your chance to lose is much greater doing that. Because when you lose, you'll lose 19 because you're competing against all the other Widow throwers who are doing the same thing, but you're locked. You have to be locked in to lose sometimes. You have to be prepared that you're just going to get screwed over and then just... as it's happening, just be dodging bullets.
The tank tax is fucking bullshit. I've tried not to bring it up too much because you and I are both tank players at our core, but it's fucking bullshit. Anyone who's played tank understand it, and I think tank tax actually creates less tank mains than any other thing you could do.
It's such a motivation killer.
Yeah, you want more tanks in the role. Get rid of tank tax. Create flat plus minus. There should be flat plus minus.
Everybody should get the same for winning. Everybody should get the same for losing.
Yeah. Regardless of my stats as the solo tank, I was more individually impactful than any other fucking player on my team because I was the only tank. That's just how it works. The things I did were things that only I could do because I'm the only tank. But I didn't get rewarded for that in the system because I'm doing fucking nothing when I'm contesting objectives and I'm holding space and I'm denying the enemy tank from taking our front line. Blah 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 blah.
You have
it's
a
bullshit.
harder game. More is asked of you. More pressure is put on you. And then you get a big fuck you from the game. Get the fucking go play tank again, and then a Cyclops main is born, and then the problem gets worse. It compounds. Show love for our tanks. Let's start a movement.
Okay, before we talk about our review and we do bingo, I want to ask you about supports. How do you feel about the support balance right now, like within the role? Like, are there any outliers you would like to see nerfed? Any characters you'd like to see buffed? And just like the roles relationship to the other roles. What do you think about support right now?
Nerf every support the roles. All right, let's do bingo. Let's do it.
We are gonna make Nerf support merch, by the way.
I'm excited for this. I'm gonna buy 12. One for each day of the week or whatever.
Just permanently wearing.
You get different color every day.
That becomes the only thing you ever wear, no matter where you are. Whether you're on a plane, anyone that sees you in public will just
Oh, love it.
We do love our support players. I do love my support players. As long as you're in comms, as long as you're in fucking comms, I'm not gonna flame you. I just wanna not double low. Okay, please.
I think
stay in fucking comms.
My stance is I'm not going to forget about the past, but I'm going to be realistic about the future. The past being, a couple of supports here and there have received periodic nerfs. We talk about Gambit, the Invis push, but really those didn't move the needle much at all. It's really the buffs that cause other supports like Rocket now, Mantis being thrust into the meta. It's like, let's just keep chipping away at it, one patch at a time. I think the patch we just had was a good patch. Leave Mantis the way they are, Gambit the way they are. Hey, let them simmer for a little bit. They're actually at like pretty healthy win rates if you care about that sort of thing. And then it's just like, okay, let's worry about the supports that are actually just way too easy to play and see if the output is the effort required is similar to the level of output and make that the same for like every healer. And I'd say a big outlier is Rocket, obviously. Yeah. And I would say even though Mantis is definitely like a little harder to play than the average hero, Fox says hardest, I think her output's still a little too high for what she provides. And I still stand by. I think a hero like Cloak and Dagger, balanced support, that she's like the gold standard. And
I might be in the minority. I think Rocket being the best support in the game is my favorite kind of meta. Mostly not because Rocket is some great support to play into. It's just better than Invis, Luna, any other support that I could possibly think of because he doesn't just kill you when you fuck up into him or whatever. That being said, you could probably nerf his power level a little bit. I'm a little bit afraid because I think we're in a place where the game is fairly balanced and reasonable, but I do think that the next character we get is probably going to be a support that's going to fuck everything up, most likely. I mean, just undoubtedly is going to be the case. If you don't think the next support that comes out is going to be even more busted than Dino was on release here, probably just going to be wrong because it's probably going to be broken. I mean, the next character is probably going to be a support. Probably going to be broken 10 ways to Sunday.
So you're okay with a Rocket player in the same rank as you, egoing you? Would you ever be okay in a situation? Because
at least they're in fucking comms. At least they're in comms. Holy shit! I'm gonna keep bitching about the same thing, but I've never been egoed by a Rocket player before.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. All the time.
I mean, you started. But I never say anything to them, so like I just bitch. I bitch to my chat about them, but I never say anything directly to them.
It creates some situations, right, where if a hero is just way too strong for no effort, output is not related to the effort required. You have this. There's like power dynamic where people, again, like I talk about, it's just like I want balance to at least be kind of close so people are actually in the ranks they belong. And that's, again, why I'm kind of against EOMM. I want there to be real.
The problem is even in a world with no EOMM and just flat plus and minus, you'll still get that when those broken characters that come out.
For sure. But you're mitigating it.
I mean, because like, I don't know if you think Overwatch had EOM, but when Brig came out, it boosted the character was so broken and easy that it boosted players that were, I mean, to top 500, top 100 levels, like just some ridiculous ranks that they never belong in. And you could see it after the character got heavily nerfed that those players just fell. And that is in a plus-minus system just because they embraced the broken character, and the broken character was so much better that just due to the nature of embracing it, they gained way more rank because they just climbed. They're just on the like imagine if Rocket wasn't in the game and it released this season in the state he is right now. The players that just decide to pick up the new character Rocket would just win more than the players that didn't decide to pick up the new character Rocket. They're trying to do normal shit and they're not, they it was kind of interesting because, I've been playing a little bit of Cyclops now. We hit Eternity and then I fell out of it. During that first little 4 or 5 days, it was like 3 or 4 days, I felt like there were a lot of Cyclops players that were completely, utterly handless, and then now I feel like they're all good. Like they all know how to play the character. I got a lot of free kills on people that just didn't really understand. So maybe I got boosted by knowing the character a little bit faster than them. Learning the character a little bit faster than them.
I think it's cool. When I played League, it was always interesting. You had a general idea of who. I mean, League has a lot of heroes, but specialization in League on one hero is way more common, just because there's just so many. So you generally just want to be good enough to pass all the knowledge checks. So whenever a hero gets buffed that is considered off meta, and then you see the top mains of those heroes, like the one tricks, go from whatever master tier, and then they shoot all the way up to challenger. It's like, okay, how much is the player or the hero? And it's such like an interesting thing to happen that I feel like is kind of lacking in Rivals. Like the hero specialization isn't that important. It's more about just because there's such a gap between and such like a hard, like almost like rock paper scissors counter system in some situations where you don't feel like there's skill expression all the time in the ways that you really would like to see in a game. And I think heroes Rocket
that's pretty normal for hero shooters, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I think they go too far in that direction though with heroes like Rocket. It's a little too much.
Yeah, that's fair. Like this kind of goes back to this topic you brought up a long time ago, a game mode that you could never swap. Like in a world where you could never swap characters, you might see that deep specialization. But in the world where you could have someone that is deeply specialized in a dive character, but you just can't really see that in a world where like the best thing to do is just swap.
Yeah, one season, no swaps. No swapping allowed. That would be crazy. Like if Doctor Doom stops time or something, you gotta no changing.
So Echo, this was kind of a weird thing, but Echo had a mechanic where if you killed somebody with your ult, like after you copied them, they couldn't swap characters. For a little, cool. But it only lasted for 1 life. But it'd be really cool if you could do that.
That's really neat.
Yeah, like prevent the swap would be kind of cool. Oh, you're stuck. But then it's like
someone's
hey,
throwing
swap
a Widow.
off Spider-Man. It's like you're typing to the enemy Doom. Let my fucking Spider-Man swap, you piece of shit. Like
it's like quick, somebody go to the hero and make it so he can't swap. Keep him on that dog shit ass hero.
You're locked and he's locked. It's okay.
We're all locked. I'm locked in, man. I'm for it.
Yeah. I'm very curious what they're going to do with team-ups going forward. I have no idea.
Team-ups have been lacking a little bit.
They have been. I know, I get it. They're pumping out a crazy amount of content. Maybe too much content considering they did delay like a lot of their big things that they're releasing, like the big game modes and stuff. They delayed all of that.
I suspect they're being overworked. It's a lot of content. They're trying to keep up with the community demands.
Yeah,
they're struggling to keep their head above water. From my point of view.
Yeah, I think that's going to keep being a problem going forward. Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about what Samju said? Just one season where because that's how the light flat stuff started.
Sorry, right.
One season or 1 or 2 seasons where we just focus on fixing everything, like balancing.
I mean, I would personally love it. I think optimization, make this game not run like shit. I think that's one of the reasons why this game is so popular on console is because the game actually fucking runs on console and not PC where I'm dropping to 60 frames on a supercomputer. A fucking $4,000 computer can't even. I can't even imagine what just a normal computer would be like trying to play this goddamn
PCs
game.
at NASA couldn't run this game, man.
Yeah. So yeah, like fix optimization, fix balance. Let us sit in a meta for a bit. The problem is, what I talked about, where it's like I don't really think it matters what they do as long as they just consistently give us new shit. Like that is probably a safer play. Because if you take a 2-3 month break to fix the game, balance
the
it,
casual base would die off.
Well, they would die off, and if you somehow still don't fix the game,
Make it even worse.
Then the competitive players are pissed. Like it's kind of like I feel like constantly releasing new characters is kind of like a safety valve. You just get to it just protects you. You just as long as you keep doing that, you don't.
We're releasing tons of content. The game can be in balance. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if I think back at any game that I ever played, no game ever died releasing consistent content. I don't think that is even possible for a game to die.
As long as it's good content.
Yeah, if a game, the only time Overwatch died, they didn't release a character for like a year and a half, and no maps either. Like they basically just put up and pulled the game. Apex went through a similar problem where they just literally just completely stopped fucking with the game. Nothing new, nothing added. They were just like, "Oh, we're working on this and that." I mean, I'm really trying to think of a game that was like even Destiny. Destiny is finally kind of like, it's gonna get packed up. It's kind of they've admitted that they're leaving it or they're pulling out.
Blizzard notorious for long time to make changes. A game I played called the Culling was a BR game that was around for a while. One of my favorite games of all time. They actually fixed stuff pretty quick, but they ran into the problem is they made some really bad changes and fast. They killed their game off really quick. Their game had a healthy niche audience and a nice small knit community, and they made enough changes that the game was purely competitive. That's why you play it. You want to be the last man standing. It was you put on an island. You forage for supplies. Right. I actually created strategies in that game that ended up getting nerfed. If you really want to talk about it, I created some. Yeah. I actually affected the balance of the game a little bit. It was my favorite game. So I'll say it real quick. It's cool. So basically, you had a resource where you got from basically trading in supplies like swords, weapons that come from crates and stuff that you put in the machine, and you get the weapon you want that you're spec'd into. So you had a out of game specking system that you'd spend the money on, and so that it would encourage you to get kills in a BR game instead of just play safe. Right. And I played the melee builds. I was aggressive. I like to go for kills. But, you play the game enough, you want to think of how can I just win every game? So there was a perk that you got that nobody went. I wish I could remember what it was called. I could probably just AI it, Google it. But basically, it was a perk where every time you go to the machine and the resource was called Funk, try to get currency, try to get Funk, you get one more funk than you'd normally get. So you turn in a 15 funk spear, you get 16. You turn in a 5 funk bow and arrow, you get 6 funk. Well, there was a little strategy you could do if you spec into the perk that don't worry, I'll get there. It's worth it.
No. Take your time.
The perk where you it's all mobility. You go the endurance, which was a pretty popular one. You go move speed. So you can just run all the time. You just go around the edge of the map. No one able to kill you because you're the fastest person in the game. Picking up all the rocks and sticks. Go to the machine. All those +1s now are +2. You double the amount of the trash you get. But you're able to basically get the best weapon in the game 10 minutes before anyone else, which is the gun. So that's what I would do. I would just run around picking up rocks and sticks, completely pacifist. No, if somebody tried to fight me, I'd be like, nope, I'm spec'd into speed. And it was so cool. But they took away. That was probably a strategy that should have got. They basically made it so it didn't. I can't remember what the nerf they even did to it, but they nerfed it. They made it it doesn't work on rocks and sticks. And so I would get the guns. I'd be running around where people have like spears made out of wood and flint, and I got a fucking Uzi. I'm just cutting them down. And the best part is the people who were doing well, I'd still beat them. They'd have a tier 3 weapon, guns a tier 4 weapon. I kill them and get their shit. So now I'm the server admin, and it was a way to. I'd win like half my games doing that, and eventually people were like, "Oh, you're not doing that strategy this game." I'm like, nah, I'm not. And they nerfed it. They were quick to balance the game, but they made so many bad changes. They actually made it pay to play. They made the Kalina pay to play game. Killed the game.
I think you need to get over a certain hump before you build like that audience that will stick around forever if you just keep producing content. Like if they don't do the right decisions to even get to that level, like how big was the game like at its peak? Was it bigger, like a massive game?
10K on Twitch viewers, like about half of Rivals.
It's kind of similar to like Super.
Well, at its peak, it was very popular. Like all the like big variety people were playing.
Oh,
like,
they played it.
Like 2,000-3,000 viewer streamers, like, and then the core community. I think at that time I was like around 50 viewers. There was like the most known person in the community was like 200-300 viewer guy named Labrizzi. I think he probably still streams, but the bigger streamers would come and I feel like Shroud. A lot of people. Yeah, came and played. It was a popular game. It was cool. It got a lot of attention. It had a nice core community, and yeah. So there is a downside to bring it all back, balancing, releasing stuff too quickly. Because if it's shite,
if it's bad, yeah,
you're gonna kill your game faster than if you. So I'm with Shamju, man. Like I think, give us like just take some time.
It's such a slippery slope because I remember Halo Infinite, like that was a game that like. That game created a lot of opportunity for me because I became basically like one of the only educational content creators for the game. Like I was the only like big one basically. And it was making a lot of money. It was doing really well. They basically made bad decision after bad decision, and then they basically kind of abandoned the game in a way where they just like didn't do anything. Nothing new came out. No new skins, no new fucking guns, no new maps, no nothing. There was nothing. It was just this long period of hiatus where they just didn't do fucking anything. And the game just slowly died even though the community tried to hold on for so long. Like we tried so hard to keep the game alive, and they just dropped the ball. And I only in cases like especially big IPs, I think only in cases of like gross negligence do these games fucking crash and burn.
Well, it's subjective too, right? And games tend to die, in the sense of some person's point of view, and another person's point of view, they may be enjoying the game even more, right? So
that's fair. That's people like to say game is dead when it's just like, oh, this character I don't like is released. Game is dead, or
I'm just saying, chess needs a balance patch, or that game's gonna die, bro.
The game is dead. Yeah.
Like professional sports, like dude, I like the officiating in soccer. Like if you change the way penalties are enforced, it'd probably become a lot more popular in the U.S., but around the world probably would be less popular. So like a real life parallel right there. Like the rules of soccer are just like the rules of a game. Like you're able to swap heroes. That's like a rule set that
people debate all the time in the NBA about adding a 4-point shot, like an even
God.
Farther away 4-point shot.
Circus League.
People would be like, oh, people are gonna be running their ass off to contest a 4-pointer. like people would be so tired. Anyways, it's like
I feel like they need to nerf 3-pointers.
That's another take I've seen is nerf 3-pointers.
They should nerf 3s. I don't know how you would do that. Maybe make the like I don't know, maybe the shot. If you ever take a 3, the shot clock is just like it just goes down to 0. Or
I've seen people like you're not allowed to get.
I don't know.
You're not allowed to get offensive rebounds. I've heard that one. Like people change the rules so you can't get offensive rebounds. Like there's a lot of I mean, I like the rule set of basketball, but it's interesting because some people will have one rule or another, this or that. Everyone has their own opinions about like. I think you actually do see that a lot though. There's a lot of people that used to watch basketball that don't anymore. That they're like, I miss the way it used to be, or I miss.
I do.
That's why
I'm one of those people. I hate how basketball's officiated more than I actually am a fan of soccer, but the officiating for me personally is what takes me out of it. And
in soccer,
it's a problem I have with the NFL too. But I think the NFL, they actually care enough to where even though there's a lot of controversy, it's I guess you'd say like more balanced if you want to talk about it like a gaming term. Like NFL has a lot of rules and it's like very complex. But at the end of the day, they're using replay every time, and there's like going to be subjectivity, and rules change too. It's like you even with like professional sports, like baseball adding the replay recently.
You know I was literally about to ask about where you could finally challenge. You could finally challenge in baseball. because that always pissed me off. I was like, because I'm not crazy into baseball, but I am somewhat into it, and I was like, you're telling me this fucking umpire can just decide things on a whim and no one can like call him out on it? Like, he could just be wrong, like just straight up wrong, and no one could say shit about it. It was up to his discretion.
Can you believe there are old heads that say that is a part of the game that should be left in? That to me is just, we want to talk about subjectivity and objectivity. That to me, the closer we can get to truth, I think, is always going to be a benefit. The only thing that subjective rule sets are advantage to are corrupt refs and gamblers. That's it. Or bad teams. That's the other one.
Like the viewability argument of it. So there's a couple things in the NBA. So the one is like, you only get 2 challenges. Even if you're right twice, you don't get a third, which is kind of fucked up. You're like, the ref got it wrong twice. I challenged. But the problem is they're trying to not create unwatchable games where it is challenge.
Yeah.
So in the
that's EOMM, dude.
It kind of is, because you're right. But then the other problem is, like, a lot of people hate watching basketball in the regular season because it's super soft. It's not physical. Playoff basketball is great. Very physical. They allow you to be really physical. They don't allow you to do that shit at all in the regular season. And you might be like, that's just bullshit. But
what, the season's too grueling, too intense. It's like,
they don't want people to get injured. They don't want teams to just be half in the hospital by the time they're in the playoffs. So they're almost sacrificing the quality of the product in the main regular season for great quality of a product in the playoffs. And you know, but I can understand why people are like, fuck the regular season. But like, you kind of have to pick your poison. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna let everyone just fucking tackle each other in the regular season, and then everyone has Achilles tears and shit by the time they get to the playoffs, and then the playoffs suck because you're like, all the star players are all in the hospital? Like, it's interesting how like these rules evolve, but it also is interesting how there's like some rules, they're fair, but they also have to think about it like a bigger picture. It's like, what's the bigger picture look like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think adding that context to these types of things does kind of help put it in perspective a lot of the time. You know, because people are different. You know, I talk about Americans. You want to super psychoanalyze it, like we're, founded on freedom, capitalism, or things that this country values. So, like, fairness in sport is something, and something that I think is maybe not fairness, because I don't want to like throw like people like Europeans or whoever under the bus, but like to bring up, like, the officiating in soccer, Americans really dislike, like, because it encourages that type of like faking, flopping, and it's viewed as like sissy. It's viewed as like kind of sissy, and it's like, like the winning should be not about who fakes their penalties the best, because that's part of the soccer meta. Faking. And it was in the NBA, and then they cracked down on it.
No, and then it's back.
It's back. Yeah. Bro, some of the clips
shout out SGA, shout out Lemon, shout out people that I know. OKC. No, it's not better. There's a level of gamesmanship that happens that is like, you're kind of fucking with the rules. You're playing on the edges of the rules. Not as intent. I mean, it's the same way with soccer. The problem, I say soccer. The problem is, if you cut that shit out, then there'll probably be some amount of people that probably are getting fucked up, that probably deserve a certain call, and they're not giving it.
Do you think did you watch the U.S. Bosnia Herzegovina
red card?
Game?
Yeah, the red card bullshit.
What do you think about that? Because I have an interesting thought on that.
I mean, it's America, bro. Fuck you. No, I don't watch soccer enough. I call it soccer, so I obviously don't watch it enough to like give a shit about anything besides just everyone just spamming. If we win the World Cup, it's called soccer now, motherfuckers. Like, of course, like. I mean, I buy and collect cards, so I know a lot of the players' names and stuff like that. But like, it's how do I put it? It felt like they retroactively gave it to him in a way that they shouldn't. That's what I heard. Like, they looked at the replay when they weren't supposed to be able to look at the replay or something like that. They had to call it on the field. I don't know the full.
So, Yeah, like for me, I'm one of the few people who I actually thought the red card was the right call, but I still think it's bullshit. I still think the penalty is way too much. Like taking him out of the game is fine, but being out for the next game, that's farcical. I mean, and I get the idea to deter players, but
I mean, that's like in basketball, you get a tech two. You're out, you're eliminated, you're removed from the game, and then if you build up a certain amount of suspensions, you can get eliminated from a game. But it's a lot. It's a lot of techs. You need 16 techs, and then someone can replace you. In basketball, they just get to replace you. In soccer, no one gets to replace you, so you play down a man throughout the game, and they can't play the next game.
yeah. So
that's insane. That's an insane. That's the severity of that is fucking nuts.
Right. There's not enough nuance and like the context is, yeah, he was actually trying to push him off the ball, but it wasn't intentional that he cleated his ankle. Like he obviously didn't go into that play thinking I'm trying to cleat this guy, but he was trying to push him off the ball. It was an unsafe play he went for. You should get penalized for that, but you shouldn't be taken out the next game. This isn't you're not like stomping on a guy's foot because he like fucking pushed you in the play before. Like that type of stuff. You should get penalized.
To me, I don't know if this is true, but to me, looking at it, intent doesn't matter in soccer.
No,
but it does matter in basketball. Intent. They actually review things and they say if there was intent, you. Like if you whipped your arm back and hit someone in the face, you're probably gonna get a tech 1. You're not gonna get kicked out of the game if you didn't know that they were there. You just moved. Like unless you like just threw back at like if you're just moving and you hit someone in the face where you shouldn't. If you look at them like fucking Wemby did and you look at them straight up and you're like, oh, are they there? Okay, now I'm fucking hitting them in the face. Yeah, you're out. You're like intent because the intent. There's like clear intent.
Also, yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say with the arms. It's like you have more control over your body with your arms. It's a lot more obvious when someone's being purposeful with their. You know, it's like you could easily just kind of play in and just like nudge people. Or you could fucking elbow someone, right? So there's definitely layers to it. I love talking about sports. I could talk about sports forever. Like the rules, the officiating. I'm a pretty big sports guy, and I don't really have an outlet to.
To talk. We can definitely talk about sports. Yeah. My problem is like football. Don't really know it that much.
I'll get you into football this season. You're a Ravens fan now.
Am I? Am I a Ravens fan? If it's up to my buddy is always trying to get me talk about the Dallas fucking Cowboys to me. Like he's just like perma. He's perma talking about the Dallas Cowboys to me.
I feel so bad for people like that. He's don't fall for his trap.
He loves himself some Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he does. Poor guy.
Yeah, the only sport that I really fucking watch is basketball. That's like I watch like almost every game in the regular season for the teams that I enjoy, and then I watch every single playoff game. Like that's what I really like. But I'm starting to watch more because once you get really into sports, I'm kind of noticing that like it's kind of boring when there's nothing to watch. Like I want to watch like at least if you like all the sports, you get to watch something every time, like throughout the year. You know, there's always something on. There's always something relevant to watch, something cool to watch, something to tune into. But yeah, sure. And wait, who's your GOAT of the sports? Like all the sports. Like who's your
all the sports?
Yeah. Like your GOAT. I'm curious because I have my opinion on GOATs on every sport.
Jordan single-handedly got me into basketball, like watching it, playing it, just by himself. He was electric in a way that kind of redefined the sport.
Yeah, so he's a pretty good second best player of all time. I'm a LeBron guy. Of course I'm a LeBron.
I am too. But for me, Jordan changed the sport, and to me, that's what a GOAT needs to do. He was actually just like more athletic than people too. I think a lot of people undersell that part about him. Like he was like a freak athlete. He was quicker. He had. Like,
I wish I would have been able to watch him in person. I think it would have been sick. I mean, I respect him as like he's not my GOAT, but I think he's the second best player ever by a like I think undoubtedly they're the top two by a mile. I don't really know anyone that doesn't debate them being top two. If someone does, I haven't really met that person.
If we're talking. Like all sports, I mean, Shohei Ohtani right now is certainly making a case for all sports. What he is doing is, the only like Babe Ruth was the last person you compare like.
And Babe Ruth did not play against the level of competition of Shohei. He did not do. He
was
did,
a-
but he
a
did
drunk
pitching
guy,
and batting.
fat-
But yeah, he's a plump. No,
he's a fat guy from
Ohtani's fucking
Baltimore.
insane. And here's the rare thing. So like people are now starting to like simmer down on, LeBron's probably going to retire in a couple years. People are kind of start to probably really get into the debate, Jordan versus LeBron. People are already crowning Ohtani as the greatest of all time right now, and that motherfucker is going to keep playing for years. Like imagine being crowned the GOAT and you're still gonna play your sport for many, many years.
Sometimes you can lose the GOAT status if you play too long. Case in point, Tiger Woods.
Oh,
'Cause he was had all the writings of a GOAT, and then that happened, and it just goes to show you how much
he's
personal life,
he's
routine.
he's
he's doing all right.
yeah.
I mean, that just shattered his. Like he was not good after that. It was crazy. Like how much that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always
fall
the
off.
debate about like the peak of a player versus like the longevity. Like I think LeBron probably I like him because of his longevity debate, like long excellence or long like he was excellent for a very very long period of time. What about for soccer? Who's your GOAT? I know everyone just
It's Messi, dude.
Okay,
it's got to be at this
yeah,
point.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Fair enough.
And then for football, man, like everybody has Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady might be the most overrated player of all time in any sport.
Tom Brady's Tom Brady's my GOAT, but I haven't really heard a strong argument for anyone else. So I haven't really watched all that much. He just seems like the most dominant player ever.
I mean, from a statistical perspective, no, not really. He just had better defenses.
Just had a better team, better built team.
He did have a certain level of clutch to him in some scenarios, but a lot of you could attribute a lot of his Super Bowls to very specific plays that basically were just like total bullshit calls, like the tuck rule. There was an interception. I think it was versus the Giants, and then like there's controversy surrounding him with spying on teams while he was playing for the Patriots with deflating balls. He even admitted to
spying on
cheating.
teams, bro. He's stream sniping.
So I just
you gotta do it to be the best, I guess, according to Trust Me.
Tom Brady's great, but
who's your GOAT if you had one? I don't know if you actually
for football.
Yeah. I know people talk a lot about Mahomes, how he's very, very good.
I don't even know if I'd give it to a quarterback. Like I think, dude, it's tough. Like Peyton Manning was honestly, he's up there. Like I think Peyton Manning is underrated. Honestly, he didn't have any like real talent for most of his career and was just like consistently just elite. And had way worse defenses than Brady, but like he didn't win as much.
It's interesting because of how, like, from the outside looking in, it's interesting how football is like a very, very big team sport. Like you're one cog in a machine. Even like as an example, if we think of MJ and LeBron, both of them played a phenomenal offense and phenomenal defense and did both. They did both at both ends, very high level, and they would often be the best offensive player on their team and the best defender on their team. You don't see that in football. Like Tom Brady is not also stopping. Like Tom Brady is not also getting sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like
all the best quarterbacks now, though, there has been a push to just them being more athletic, just because it's like if you can find someone that is able to have the game IQ and the throwing ability and also have this athleticism, you're going to. So all the best athletes, or at least a lot of them, like really big guys too, because you want tall people to see over the defense a lot of the time, are just the best athletes on the field now too. So like Lamar Jackson could potentially end his career being the GOAT of football, but he'd have to at least win a Super Bowl or two, I think, because he's just he has the highest passer rating of all time. And he's known as a running quarterback. Well, the reason is because that the run game opens up those passes and allows him to be really, really efficient.
So he's super athletic, so he can do these runs efficiently, and then it opens up passes.
And he's Ravens. He's my team.
He creates space with his athleticism.
Creates space. Yes.
No, I love how this like concepts in hero shooters that it's the same concept. Creating space is actually it's actually a military concept first and foremost. Like it's always been a concept, but people think about it only in gaming.
Yeah. Playing Rivals in a lot of ways has, I'm not trying to sound too negative, made me realize how shit people were in League of Legends at team fighting in a lot of ways. Like Rivals is pure team fighting. League of Legends is only like the last part of the game.
Right.
And things like body blocking is something that I have. I play League casually. I play a lot of games casually right now, which is a good sign. Usually, I'm only playing like 1 or 2 games. There's like a lot of games I've been kind of enjoying right now. But I've been like trying to body block more in League, and it's been like really just kind of maintaining a front line. You notice people in other games don't always have these concepts hammered down. And it's cool that when you see stuff translate over to other games or like even real life sports. So yeah, always interesting.
I like it a lot. I mean it's all connected. Like these fundamentals they're connected in all of these sports as well as games. Like
bingo time.
Yeah, let's do some bingo. Let's end it off with some bingo. Let me go ahead and share the screen. And we 100% just stole this straight from Light. Thank you, Light.
We're gonna put one of the things on our bingo card that
right here.
Light has to get his bingo as one of
bingo. Yeah.
So that way you go look at his first.
Yeah, you gotta watch his first. You could see this. You could see it, right? You could see everything.
Yeah.
Popping up. Yeah. So if Light gets his bingo, then we put this bingo. Like this is the spot. Okay. So this is bingo for 9.0. 9.0 is coming soon. Patch coming soon. New character coming soon. Okay. You first. If you have any random ones you want to put, you can throw them out. I'll throw out any ideas I have.
How likely do you think it is that they just randomly add double bans? Is that too much of an ask? Is that too hard to...
I like it. Let's do it. Double bans. Right. Like no double bans, right?
No double bans. Yeah, maybe put it on the edge. Oh, corner piece for that one? That's a risky strategy.
Yeah, no double bans. Why you think?
Because that'd be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. So you think this is unlikely. You want to put it somewhere else? Wait.
No,
if we
I'm
hit
saying
bingo. What's the thing? We gotta figure out what we do if we hit bingo.
Well, what I'm saying is like lights are usually things that are like laughably bad about the game. Maybe we could do some things that are more of a positive spin.
I like that. And if we hit bingo, do we donate money somewhere? What do we do? do we?
Oh, if we hit bingo,
Can we like donate to like a domestic violence charity? You think? What thoughts on that? I'll drop $100 on a domestic violence.
Well, I got kids to feed, Coach Mills.
I could the channel could pay it. I pull for my
yeah, I'm down. If you want to, you want to do we'll do a charity.
Charity of the top comments choice.
Gaming for Hope.
What?
That just sounds like a charity.
Wait. Do you know about Gaming for Hope? Do you know about? Yeah. I want to see Gaming for Hope hits. That would be funny. Gaming
how's
for
that
Hope.
A patch?
Yeah, it won't work. I was gonna say Gaming for Hope hits like Grandmaster or something. It would be hilarious.
How about
but okay. Anyways, top comment. We're gonna use revenue from this video. Maybe not all of it, but I'll use mine to bring it.
No, I will too.
Okay, fine. We'll use revenue for this video. $100 to the charity of your choice if we hit the bingo, and I'll still give something to charity even if we don't hit it. But let's try to fucking hit it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so no double bans. That's in corner.
Yes. So that's like a good one.
So
hope for these.
We'll put some good ones too, good and bad. It doesn't have to just be like this hate rage one. We will review this at the beginning of the next episode, with whoever other two guests we have. New support, new hero broken. Do we want to do that? Or is that like?
Yeah, that one's tough to know right
away.
Happens, though, you know.
Right.
What about changes to Rocket? I think that's like a big one right now, right?
Okay.
Rocket buffs would.
Wait.
Don't think that's happened.
No.
Maybe Rocket nerfs. How about Rocket nerfs?
Rocket nerfs. Yeah, we got that. Rocket.
So we're like the inverse of the light one.
I'm putting
like
Thor buff right here. I'm putting Thor buff right there. Maybe tenacity changes. I don't know. They did already kind of change tenacity like behind the scenes.
Okay, so this is then our wish list then, which I kind of like. If that's what we want to do. So far, this is all things that we want to see.
It doesn't have to be like this negative thing like Light is, but But if his hits, then it hits ours.
All right. Speaking of light, more Daredevil nerfs, bro.
Oh, Daredevil nerfs! Oh
yeah,
shit!
put it on.
DD nerfs.
Getting the heroes out of the way.
We have to randomize this, but we will randomize this after it's done. But
Okay, sure.
That's all gonna get.
We don't have to do all heroes. What are some other things? That you might see season
like broken team up, useless team up.
This is tough. We probably should have thought about this.
Maybe
more.
like an ultimate buff, like ultimate charge buff. They're gonna do a lot of bullshit like that.
Because we really have no idea what's on. Okay, well we got to have a Cyclops one. So what do we think?
Oh, Cyclops nerf, right? Clops nerf. All right, they're just gonna straight up nerf him. You think so?
I think he should be nerfed a little.
Yeah. Let's see. Like, hopefully they do that. Like, this is basically our wish list. What we want and what they do is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. Because it'd be funny if Lights, him doing all his troll ones gets marked out and ours doesn't. That's a bad sign. So it's like competing, dueling pianos.
This is things that we want. These are things that we kind of want. This is things that we think is probably good for the game. How about like Mantis nerf? What do you think? Like Mantis, or Mantis / Ultron?
I mean, Mantis.
We could just keep.
They've been there for a while. She's been doing well for a while.
Mantis nerf. Rocket nerfs, Mantis nerfs, Cyclops nerf, DD nerf. We got Thor buff in there. Any other specific?
Oh yeah, I guess we could say like the types of changes if we want to make it a little more.
We can make it specific too.
Like Thor alt buff or something.
We could do that.
Let me see here.
Squirrel girl buff, girl change.
Blade +1 damage.
You think Blade? Yeah,
that would be pretty funny actually. Does he need more though? He's kind of good right now. Maybe Blade -1 damage.
-1 damage.
That's kind of funny.
And this would be like anything that's like a slap on the wrist nerf. Like, doesn't matter. Like, it's an optics nerf basically. It's an optics nerf. Oh my god, this would be a bad one. I was gonna say White Fox buff. They're gonna do that shit. They're definitely gonna do that.
God. How about White Fox primary buff? Like super specific.
Okay.
I feel like that's something they would do, like her neutral healing.
I really hope they don't.
Or so now this is definitely not on my wish list. We gotta
Okay, maybe not a wish list. It's a random rivals list.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
It's
just fun.
It's just
cool with that. Let's see here.
Hulk team up. Boom.
I like that.
It's been a while. Like a new Hulk team up. Namor team up. This is a completely different one, but like a new Namor team up. They're definitely gonna do that shit, right? New. Any other ones?
Luna alt buff.
Luna alt buff. Okay.
They're going to Elsa. They're going to give her 5 damage. Plus 5 damage Elsa.
Okay.
Ones that I could see them doing.
Oh my god.
Hawkeye's definitely getting something.
Oh
here.
my god, Hawkeye buff. I think new map pool.
How about immediate Moon Knight reverts, like reverting the changes?
Oh my god. that's awful, but yeah. It's Moon Knight, right? Yeah. New Knight revert. Okay. I like that. Trying to think of like what they're gonna do to Cap. I think they do like a Cap ult change. Ult nerf. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
That's probably reasonable.
Iron Man's gotta get something here, right?
Do you think he will? Iron Man rework, maybe.
A rework. That'd be crazy.
Right? It would be nuts.
It would be crazy. All right, what's some really crazy ones now that we could think of, like completely out of left field?
Man, Man, this would be such a good one for like when people are alive. You know, like they can like throw in their ideas. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, maybe for next time.
Yeah.
'Cause we could pick out the funniest one.
Yeah, yeah. Team, not team like a new name or team up, new buff. New
How about
nerfs.
they're gonna do another triple healer team up?
Okay, triple healer team up. Yeah, probably. Yep.
Another useless storm team up.
Okay, and I like that. We could also like do one like no changes. Like there's gonna be no changes to a certain character. Like probably a character that needs it, but there's gonna be no changes.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I like that. How about Penny?
Oh, no changes, Penny. No changes, Penny. Probably. Yeah. Yep. Shit. What else?
Fantastic useless buff.
Probably. Oh shit.
What's something maybe like outside the game?
Oh,
now?
beep. Oh, okay. I was gonna say Black Panther.
We could take one off or something
Like
one
a
of the buff.
black. Oh yeah, we can decide.
Oh,
after.
rework, that'd be sick. Yeah,
That'd be
beep
sick.
rework.
One of them that's outside the game. Ooh, like ranked changes, maybe. Of
Yeah, how
any
about
kind?
yeah, like what would I mean, yeah, it's pretty generic, but I think generic ones are good. Yeah, like just changes to the rank system, like maybe rank system changes.
Okay. Yeah, yep.
Something on the list.
Yeah, we can replace one of these like -1 damage if you have anything. The Elsa and the Blade one, if there's anything that you can think of, if you wanted to add something more.
These are some decent ones, though. I actually kind of like this. I actually kind of like this list. I'm just trying to think what else like have been hot topics on the pod. Triple healer nerf maybe could be one. Boy, we triple
kinda
healer
did
team
Mantis. We did, and then
yeah.
a new
Yeah, why not for Mantis just do triple healer nerf? So make it more
Triple
generic. Make it
nerf. Yeah.
make it a little more generic. There we go. So it's not all just like
This will be
Two triple
good.
healers.
This will be good, and we can evaluate this. We can evaluate this as we go through the next patch notes on the next pod. We'll look at this. we'll skip to the end of lights, and then we'll look at ours and see. But first, is this good? Are we locking this in?
yeah. I mean, we got a mix of things we want to see and don't want to see, but I like it, because then we can see kind of like what changes get through.
Yep. All right. I have
Excited.
to generate. Yeah, generate. There it is. There
All
it
right,
is.
let's see where's the light. Okay, light bingo over on the side
So
there.
if we get Diddy nerfs, a new name or team up, a BP rework, and a Thor buff, that's a line.
Okay.
No changes to Penny, a White Fox primary buff, a free team up, a new Hulk team up, and a triple healer team up. That's a line. Moon Knight revert, light bingo, no changes. Cyclops nerf, rank system changes. Moon Knight, Hawkeye, Diddy, Elsa, no double bans. There are some likely ones. Rank system changes, useless storm buff, Thor buff, Rocket nerf, Iron Man rework. There are some possible ones in here. It is interesting. Yeah, this is good. All right, chat. If we hit bingo, $100 to the charity of your choice at the top. Of course, please like and subscribe. Support the channel. Help us grow to 10,000 subscribers so we can keep pumping out more content. And I think I'm gonna stop sharing, but I think that's pretty much everything that we have to talk about today. I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped about 9.0. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I hope there's some good changes.
You just got to keep building. Just keep having good patches in a row. So
that's a good point. Yeah, they're
kind of good patch, bad patch, good patch, bad patch.
If they can get another good one, that would be really nice. Going runner. I think that'd be really good. All right, well. Thank you so much for coming by. Hope you enjoyed the pod. Make sure to check out CaptainCoach, Coach Mills, and any other one of our guests that have come on the pod. Thank y'all, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.